Should probably get that going. Let's go. All right. What am I looking at here? Oh yeah, this. Of course, when he falls right after I buy it. Yep. Trust me, I aped into a Timon way too early on the market. I thought 300 gems is way too low for a golden moment. Let's just say I bought Timon at 299 within the first like 10 minutes of the market. So, yeah, it happens every time. I don't know where Woody's at right now, but yeah, it's not as bad as me. Trust me. What's up, late night vibes? Dino, what's up, guys? Wanted to show you guys something kind of cool. Let's see if I can show it here. I need to probably add a new thingy. Not display. I want to do a window capture. Yep. That is not it. That is something completely unrelated. There it is. This is what I wanted to do. Not at the very top. Can I put this down here? Yeah, give me a sec here. All right, I think I might have figured this out. Maybe I didn't figure this out. There it goes. Maybe not. I was gonna... Can you check Winnie chart? I'm sorry I couldn't resist. Your mom jokes are my weakness. I feel ya. No charts today. I'm gonna try something a bit different. I know I'm just known for charts. I mean, I'm not gonna stream for super long anyway. I'm just gonna try and just kick it and relax today, if you know what I mean. But I do want to show you guys something kind of cool. And Dino, I do want to help you out with a couple of emotes if you want. That is Timon and Pumbaa. I will at least do this for you. Let's see. There it goes. So we're at Winnie the Pooh right here. I mean, it's at 207. I mean, it's gone below 180 a couple times. I think listings have been pretty much plateauing for the most part. Once Rewind is announced, I'm planning on picking up the whole Pixar and Golden Moment set, since they won't be able to drop much more after that because they'll be so cheap for such big IPs. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I feel like Rewind logo is already priced in. It's like one of the very few times we're just notified like 3, 4, 5 weeks in advance of a drop. So I feel like people are already kind of expecting Rewind logo. Plus, it depends on if it's already partnered with Givenchy or something like that. Because I know the last ones were, but is this new version gonna be partnered with it? I'm not exactly sure. Will you rub your head for good luck? Pooh will drop more. I think so too, to be quite honest. When he was 270 for over like 24 hours. Not financial advice. I know you meant to put LMAO, but yeah. Well, I was working on a few emotes for myself as well as for what's it called? Rob stuff. So Rob stuff and my collectibles I've been working on emotes for. So you guys know some of my emotes. I added a couple new ones. So you guys know this emote, obviously, but I added a couple more. So we got the upside down head Electra. I don't know why I wanted to add that, but I'm just messing around. The funny thing about emotes is like you can just add and subtract them whenever you want. And then we got the screaming Finn right there. I'm wrong a lot. Is it me or else Dawn lenticulars are very cheap? Everything is cheap right now, Jason. Everything is cheap right now. Like I'm just comparing it because I've seen literally the lenticulars come out and I bought one at like 700. Everything is cheap right now. Like you can legitimately, I think at this point, buy anything, wait a year, and it's going to be up at this point. But what's up, Justin? In my opinion. Oh, I thought that was LMO. Like, I thought he meant to put like LMAO, like laughing or something like that. But I thought he just missed the A. Hell yeah. So I was working on a few, what's it called? I'll just show it on screen here if it'll show it. I was working on a few emotes. So this one was one I was working. This is literally just the Holy Grail from Monty Python's and a Holy Grail thing. I'm trying to like, hold on. There we go. That works. I don't think you guys want my stupid thing on the screen. I think chat overlay should be above it. So should this. So you guys can kind of see. Maybe I'll close that for now. So I have this for Rob stuff because he actually has a sign on his desk that says "Hodl your Grail." So I'm like, this would be perfect. Hodl your Grail, like that would be perfect. This is obviously the one I worked on before. It's just literally just a plug and play. This is another one I did for Rob. I don't know if he wants to do this one. He did. I kind of asked him like, "What's your favorite cover art for comics?" So I had to change this a little bit. I mean, I'm doing some very, very basic stuff here, right? That's what I was just having fun with. I just zoomed in on our face and put it upside down. I've seen people like also put her eyes like right side up, like her face is upside down, but her eyes are right side up, which just kind of like looks weird. This is another one I worked on for Rob stuff. It's just called Dirt Cheap. As he always says, he's always like, guys, you got to pick up this NFT. It's dirt cheap. So Dirt Cheap is another one. I don't know if this is the actual emote I sent him. I thought it was a little bit different. I think it looks a little bit different than this. I don't think this is the final one I actually gave him. Like, I think the lettering's a bit bigger because it's really hard. Like, you see it big on screen here, but when you put it in chat, the emote is super, super tiny. So you have to make letters and stuff very clear. Like, I think I removed all of the shading and stuff off of this because it was so hard to like make out the P and the E and stuff like when it was in the chat. Here's the Grail again. It's just a Grail and it says HODL, and I haven't worked on this other one just yet, but having some fun with that. And I know Dino seems to be down for some of that stuff, so I'll help you out. Maybe I'll do like an egg thing or something like that. I think that'd be kind of fun. Strong emotes, they look solid here. How do I make mine look this good? Wink, wink. I can help you out with some egg ones. Just let me know what you want to do. If you also want to help with the tiers, so if you want like a green egg, then like a silver egg, and like a bronze egg or a golden egg or whatever it is for at least, because this is another thing you can do is you can put in not emotes, but you can put in tiers, right? Because mine's just the default tiers on mine are just default tiers, but you can actually have unique logos and stuff for them as well. I don't think we need this on anymore. Your emotes are bigger than mine. Yeah, that's because I have it on Photoshop. So, but when it's on here, like you can tell here, like the NYX one, like it's really hard to tell. Like if we open it up here, like it seems like it's huge, right? You know, it looks huge, but when you actually see it in chat, you can kind of make it out, like, but it's really, really hard to see. So there's some things you do have to kind of mess with, like the lighting and stuff. Electra, yep. Did you buy any HRO packs? I bought one 8-pack, so it should be delivering here. But the issue is I accidentally put in, not the wrong address. I have the right address, but I didn't put in my apartment number by accident, because usually most of the things I buy online already has it preloaded, and so it just brain farted. And I try to contact the support company, and I showed them all the detailed information. They're like, yeah, by the way, like, oh, we don't handle this part or something weird like that. Like, I was like, can you guys just update the shipping address? Like, I know it's not shipping out till April. Like, I have time, or at least I should have time, especially I did the order like less than a day ago or 2 days ago. So I need to contact them again. You actually just reminded me to do that. You think these new golden moments can drop in price any lower? I think so, to be honest. Broke Nectra, yes. I've been saying that one too. Put some diglets in the dirt. I thought about putting in some gems in the dirt, but it starts getting like really really saturated. When we put too much stuff in like such a tiny emote square, I was gonna have like a gem or two just kind of like sticking out of the dirt. But yeah, I could probably make some like diglets or something like that. Oh my god, dude, I'm getting Rob stuffed right now. Am I getting stuffed? That's what you call it, Rob. Getting stuffed. I know that's many levels of innuendos, but you know, getting stuffed. What's the worst loss you've taken if you were to sell on Vivi? Probably my sorcerer's hat, which I bought for 4,400, and now it's at like what, 1,500 or something like that. That'd be my biggest loss. Rob Stubb, yes, dude, look at all this love. No charts today. I'm just chilling. We're chilling tonight. No charts. I mean, we could talk about Vivi. We can talk about certain stuff, but I'm not pulling up any charts. Just kind of having some fun. I was also showing off some of the emotes that I sent to Rob a bit earlier. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I might do some emotes for Dino as well, if he'll have me. Hell yeah, dude! Look at all the love. That's awesome. Hey, what's going on, dude? Execu Speak. Check out the new emotes. I don't think you've seen that emote yet, Execu Speak, the pointing one. We also got Finn screaming. I feel like I'm gonna have a group of emotes that I have forever on the thing, but I feel like there's gonna be like 3 or 4, like 2 or 3 emotes I'm just gonna swap out like every few days or a week just to have fun. I think that'd be fun. Rob loves Shiba. Really now? Look at all this love. People still guessing the number? Anybody get the number? Let's go! Congrats! Who won? Stuffed turkey emote for Rob? Maybe like that. Stop the fan with your head. Let's go. Yeah, we got some interesting ones. That one I'll change out that. Like, I'm probably gonna switch out these 3 like later in a couple days. I was just kind of messing around with the emotes, right? I do like the Finn face. Like, Finn is actually a really good NFT I found. If you like to play around on the vault, like, I really like Finn. Like, every single time there's like a new vehicle or anything like that, like, I always see Finn like going crazy on the bike or any of the vehicles or anything like that. It's pretty crazy what some of the the vaultaholic people can do. My collectibles, yeah. And My Collectibles is another person I would love to make emotes for. If you have a favorite comic book cover or anything like that, like that's one I did. It's pretty easy, straightforward, but no one's taken away my Kang Iron Man. No one's taken away my uncommon Kang Iron Man meme pick. And of course we got the other ones too. So I just like, I don't know. I think right now there's just honestly not a ton to talk about, like on the market. Like just today, it's not like I'm avoiding market analysis or anything like that. Like I'm okay to talk about it, but just tonight I'm not streaming for too long, so I just wanted to kind of just chill out with you guys for the most part. And I don't know, I just saw like a lot of the other content creators have these awesome memberships. Like they have a lot of people that are members, especially My Collectibles. Tons of members. A lot of people love the giveaway, so I might do like an email revolving around like the giveaways or something like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun for the most part. But yeah, it's just something I enjoy doing, and it's like it doesn't take me that long to do, and I rather help out my fellow Vivi influencers, my fellow Vivi tubers, right? Had the AT1 and 2 sets for like 2 months. Were my first sets on Vivi because I really liked that show back in the day. Adventure Time. I was like, AT? What is that? Adventure Time 1 and 2 sets? Yeah. They are great. And I do think like a lot of the season 1 collectibles are going to do well. But I do think a lot of the other NFTs, especially like Disney and Marvel and stuff, they need to price themselves out before people can really, before we really see like Powerpuff Girls. I think Powerpuff Girls is getting carried by like the really low mint numbers. But Adventure Time and all those, like they could do well, but as long as there's lenticular cards or even golden moments going for the same price as like Finn and Jake the Dog and some of the other like Powerpuff Girls, like I know a lot of people probably just pick a golden moment over a Powerpuff Girl, right? Like that's just kind of how it is. What do you think about stacking Winnie the Poohs? I should sell my SR Storm to hop on that wave. Potentially. That's kind of a tough call, to be quite honest. Let's see here. Would you look at that? Would you look at that? Let's go. Supergirl. Thank you for that. Thank you, sir. How'd you first get interested in Vivi? So I remember a friend kind of telling me about it in like kind of like early October, I would say, of last year. And then my brother brought it up to me, and I'm like, okay, this is because they both brought it up within a week of each other, and they don't know each other. Like, it's not like my friend and my brother really know each other. So, but once my brother brought it up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna hop on board because I trust him. He does a lot of other investing stuff and all that. Me and him also used to do a lot of TF2 hat trading. So me and him used to sell digital collectibles online prior, right? Ecosystem's a little bit different, the way everything's kind of structured, but the general consensus of like, all right, the originals are going to be the most expensive. There's a variety of different qualities and additions and rarities and generations and that kind of stuff. So that kind of helped me like navigate what I thought was going to be like some of the best NFTs in the market. But like overall market analysis stuff, I kind of have like a baseline understanding of it for the most part. But even then, like NFTs and just this current market, a lot of it just kind of breaks those rules because, you know, the second some things go up, it's almost like people say, oh my God, we're 20 listings away from it doubling a price. But this, by the time it gets up to a certain point, people are going to start listing again as well. And plus, like, again, there's one tweet, there's one thing that Vivi could just announce that either crashes the price or causes the price to explode, right? Like if you look at Captain Carter, like one tweet, one article just like tripled her price overnight, but 15 or, you know, for the other 25, 30 NFTs, they all crash in price, right? So it's kind of hard to do like a long running market analysis, but that's how I got introduced into Vivi. But how I got interested, it was, I don't know, I won 2 drops early on. And I think the only reason why I won was because a lot of people were having app issues. Like a lot of people were just like their phone apps were just crashing, right? I don't know if you guys were here for that, but I won an LSAT, then I also won a Walt. I ended up selling that Walt later. There's a longer story, but I ended up selling that Walt later just because I just didn't at the time have a ton of fiat to play. I did really, really well doing Team Fortress 2 like hat trading and doing some other trading and like market kind of stuff and other video games that also I just had a lot of experience with that stuff. So I was like, look, like I want to play this game. It seems awesome. It's really early. Like that was the other thing too. Like I was never early in any of those games. Like I kind of came in around this time, or if not like a little bit later comparatively in like the grand cycle of things. Comparatively. So I was like, if I can get in early and understand what I'm doing, like I'm going to do really, really well, but I need some growing pains. And that's kind of the thing I would say, which is I kind of wish I was on Vivi. Not so much that like, oh, I would have stacked a bunch of patads or like, I mean, the number thing I would have done if I could go back in time, knowing what I know now, I just would have stacked a bunch of Marvel 1 comics because people are just selling them for, you know, people were selling those on the store for like 2, 3, 4 gems in the aftermarket. No one knew that those things were going to push up to like 4, 5, 600 gems, right? No one thought that. But, you know, I would have got caught. The only thing I wish is that if I showed up sooner, I would just understand the market cycles and the sentiment just like much earlier, and I probably could have foreseen this market happening a bit more. Like don't get me wrong, this whole like run up and this massive dive off caught a lot of people off guard, but I definitely value understanding and experience and knowledge like almost more than anything. It's kind of a weird thing. I don't know, I'm just weird like that, and that's something that, about myself, I never thought I would like really put a lot of value in, but as I've gotten older I like it. Because, you know, it's cheesy, but it's true. But it's like knowledge is power. But I've also come to learn too that like, you know, if I do want to do this like YouTube thing full time on like Vivi and all that stuff, that there does have to be a level of community and entertainment, right? Like you need kind of both of those things, because there's a reason why if you go on YouTube and you look up like videos of like a millionaire driving a Lambo, that will get millions of views. But once the millionaire starts talking about, hey, this is how I got my Lambo, this is all the stuff I had to do, like those videos get 10,000 views, right? Like people want to get entertained. I do think, and especially like when the market's like this, I think people kind of want to get entertained, you know, talk about old stories, talk about why they're convicted, you know, why they got interested in Vivi in the first place. That's what I was telling like my collectibles. I'm like, dude, you got all these awesome comics. Like, dude, like just do a video of you covering all your physical comics. Like people want to see all of your like comic, because we were just on Rob's Stuff stream not too long ago. He's pulling comics from behind him, off to the side, you know, everywhere. And all the comics were cool, right? And I was like, dude, like you should just do a video of you just covering your physical comics, because not only because it's interesting, but also it's like it's a physical manifestation of your conviction, right? Like, hey, I love collecting, I love these things. Yeah, some of these comics I might sell eventually for the right price or whatever, but it's like, you know, I do think in some way, I don't think people kind of want to take their mind off of Vivi to a certain extent, but I do think I think this is also at the time, right, that this is where we get the closest as a community. It's like it's almost like a best friend, right? It's like you don't know how your best friend really is until you are, you know, in the gutter, right? You're at your lowest low. Are they going to help you out? Are they going to listen to you? You know, all that kind of stuff, right? But when everything's good, it's great. But you know, when the market's in a, you know, in a shitter, that's kind of like when relationships and like the conviction of the community is really tested, right? But yeah, my collectibles, that'd be awesome. And I'll work on that tier list comic book layout thing. Like, dude, that thing will take you a while. I remember doing one for all the like IPs of Vivi, and I made that into a 3-part video because that legitimately took me like over 50 minutes to do. And that's assuming like you take less than 30 seconds to talk about each one, right? So I could do a whole spreadsheet, but I'll do the tier list of all the comics. Like I'll do the original covers, so it's easier to identify. But even then, like, because usually you want to put it up to a certain spot, kind of explain why you think it's there. And like, even if, I bet you with all the comics we have on the list, like even if you only spent 10 seconds talking about each comic, it would probably still take you over 35, 40 minutes. So I don't know if you want to divide that into multiple videos, maybe you want to do it on stream or something like that, but it's going to take you a while to go through all of those. Like just a heads up, only because I've done it myself. So, thanks, should have sold my 3K mint Todd a few days ago. A 4.8 gem 1K mint on floor. Did someone like undervalue it or? Okay, mint. Oh, it's a even like 1K mint. That's kind of cool. Yeah, dude, Todd dropped a lot recently. My brother has a Todd, and he bought Todd when it was like 1.8K, like a while ago. So he bought it in October, like very early on. Like I said, at the time, I just didn't have the fiat to like put in the app at the time. But he learned, because me and him were both in the TF2 like trading thing, so we're basically trading digital hats with different effects and stuff, and that was kind of one of the things he learned. And that's the one of the things I learned too. It's like when the community is really rallied behind a certain concept or like a NFT or a hat or a generation of digital assets, like it's probably a good thing to invest in it while you can, because it's just going to go up in price. People always want the originals, the first appearances, or the whatevers of everything, right? Because those are going to be the most scarce. Let's see. How many collectibles / comics is considered a good amount when stacking? That's entirely dependent on your goals, how many gems you have, what the comic is, because there's some comics where you could probably like, there's comics where I've stacked where I'm like, all right, I think 5 is good enough. Like it's going to go up, but maybe like, I think it'll go up a lot in the short term just because it's like the new hype, but long term, like meh. But there's other comics too where it's like, it's just, again, I think it mostly just depends on how many gems you have and how long you're willing to wait. Because I do know some people that have stacked certain comics, especially newer ones or new-ish ones. You know, they have over 100 of the commons. You know, how long is that going to take them to sell? Is it going to take them 6 months? 3 years? Like it depends on how fast you want to sell it off too. So there's no hard and fast rule with that, Damon. Also too, how many mint numbers does the comic have? You know, there's a big difference between 60,000 and 30,000. That could affect how fast you could sell it off. Also, if you're lucky, if there's no big IP announcements after the comic that you pick up, you can maybe sell it off a bit sooner, you know, just dollar cost average up. It really depends, but you know, stacking, I'd say probably a good number is like 5. I'm just literally just throwing an arbitrary number out there. That's probably like the minimum I would consider to be like stacking, in my opinion. Because 5 is, I think, a decent amount where even if you sell 2 or 3, like you feel like, oh gosh, I sold these too soon, now it's really running up. You still have 1 or 2 left, right? To sell and still maximize that profit, assuming you're like doing dollar cost averaging. I still have an MC1 comment I got for 5 gems, never selling it just to have that flex. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Below box price, that's nuts, right? The time you got into Vivi, our price is now, correct. I'm not sure what you mean by correct. Like, are they back down to the levels that they were in like basically like November, December kind of thing? For a lot of NFTs, they are. Some of them are actually below that. Others are not quite there yet. Same, like mostly like R2D2, C3PO, like those still have like a little bit more room to go down. Same thing with a lot of like the Series 1 Batmans and stuff. Like those are the ones that are going to hit the last, right? Like if you've noticed, most of the golden moments still have a lot of room to go down. And that's considering that we're just trying to completely bottom out, right? What's with all the HRO hype? I don't know, that's kind of like a lot to explain. To be honest, I haven't done too much research into it, but I mean, I just bought 1 box. I just bought an 8-pack I probably could have bought more, but I was just like, oh, I'll just buy one and just kind of see how it plays out, which is probably good, because if I am going to buy more now, I can actually like put in the right address, or at least like the right apartment number. But the idea is that essentially HRO is a company that is basically printing out, not them, they're obviously outsourcing it, but printing out these DC cards that you can then redeem to have them be NFTs. So it's kind of like the first hybrid of like physical and NFT collectibles that you can kind of marry up together, like directly, like that there's that company actually links them together. It's a little bit different than like Vivi, like people collecting a Todd, and then there's like the Vivi Todd, right? Because that's more like community driven, but this is like actually driven through like the actual HRO company. Like, hey, here's the digital, here's the physical, they're connected together. I do know Rob Stuff has talked about how when his packs come in, he does want to grade them like right away. Like if he can get like the first, you know, CGC like number 10 rated like card and get that married up with this, you know, say Spider-Man, a Superman or a Wonder Woman or one of those, like that'd be really, really cool. For me, with my box, I probably just won't open it. I just don't think I'm gonna open it because I don't know. If I probably bought more, like I feel like I might as well open it. It's only a $50 investment. It's something I might have to play by ear. But if the box prices are going up by a lot, I might end up, you know, selling it or holding it or whatever it is. But it is one of those things where it's like, if you look at like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering boxes, like some of those original like first edition sets that are unopened, untouched, untampered, you know, sealed, nothing wrong, you know, no kind of tampering, anything like that, like those sell for a lot, because as the price of those, you know, grails or the high tier cards in those boxes go up in price, now it brings up the price of the box itself, right? You don't have to you don't have to do anything. It's almost like the cards are doing all the work for you. And because it's all theoretical, it's almost like you're just kind of hedging your bets and just playing the average, right? Like why risk a bet of, like if I'm going to put in $10, you know, like let's say $50, like literally $50. Like I could put in $50 and like I could win $1 million, or I could just lose it all. You know, maybe not a million. I mean, it's worth the risk, but you know what I mean? You're pretty much just taking the average of in between. Because if you open the box, there's a chance you can get $0, or you can just wait and the box price could go up to $250, $500, $1,000. Like if you wait 5 years from now, the price of the box could go up to $1,000 because, you know, there's just not a lot left and people do want the original stuff. Do you think the SR Ukraine poster is worth getting? I have 3 right now. I was stacking them for the most part. Let's see here. I did have 5 at one point. I sold 2 and I made, I think like a 20 or 30 gem profit, or no, one is like a 40 gem profit. The other one was like a 30 gem profit. So those are ones I could sell off sooner rather than later, but those are just pieces I just imagined in my head. I'm like, I could totally see whales just buying, like if they're going to buy an independent artist piece, they're going to want to buy one with like a lot of meaning, right? The utility is arguably that it's saving people's lives. That's like the ultimate, that's like the best utility, right? And I do feel like when people buy these independent artist stuff, like they're probably going to want to buy ones with like a cool story behind it, right? And all of that, less likely than like a Bigfoot or, you know, the specimens or anything like that. Like nothing, not to knock them or anything like that, but I could totally see people putting that poster in their vault or in their, you know, the Vivi verse or whatever it is, and having a cool story to tell about it. And it's very low mint. There's only 4,444, so it's not like there's a ton of them on the market. Let me actually pull it up on my phone here. Yeah, that's going for 140 right now. All the ones I bought were between 155 and 165. So, you know, I'm down a bit on my investment, but not by much. I mean, this can reverse pretty quickly, I think. Like on that same page, it goes up 30 gems and there's only 274 on the market. So, I mean, this is one that could run. It is a historical piece. It's the very first like charity / humanitarian like NFT that Vivi's ever had. And I really like the art on it. I think it's I don't think it's a gorgeous piece, but it's a really, really, really good looking piece. In my opinion, like I really like that look. And like I said, I could definitely see some like just rich smuck just putting it up in their art gallery in the Vivi verse or in the Vivi vault or in you know, the vault or whatever, and having a cool story to tell about it and how it's about Picasso and Guernica and all that stuff. Like, I think it's super interesting, like me personally. So odds are I'll probably sell one more in the next, hell, might be before the end of the week, and then probably keep 2 for like the long haul, to be honest. Fun idea. Bought 2 boxes, so I'm so excited for them. Hell yeah, Kayla. That's awesome. Yeah, me too. I bought a box. I might buy another one soon. I mean, it did sound like people were saying that there's like 1,000 boxes left of the 8-pack. So that's pretty crazy to think of. I don't know. I'm sure there's other content creators, a lot of people that could explain it better than I could. But I would say over the last week or so, there's probably, most content creators have at least made a video or at least mentioned HRO at some point. And that's probably good, because I think right now, you know, the Vivi market's been down quite a bit. I think it's completely fine, and if not healthy, that we're actually looking at other NFT projects and investing in those a little bit and just kind of just seeing what's going on over there. Maybe there's some ways to, you know, make some good gems or whatever they have going on over there when it comes to currency, right? So yeah, I think it's probably good that we're focusing on something else and taking our mind off of Vivi for a little bit. Got it. Hell yeah. Let's go. Random questions. How old are you? How many hours a day do you put into the channel? Do you think Superman will go under 1.8K? I did mention this, like, I think it was like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I was like, people were saying, will Superman go below 2K? I'm like, unlikely, but I'm like, theoretically, he could go down to like 1.6 or something like that. Because I was looking at the charts, and that's the point where it's like November pricing or something like that. I think it was like 1.6 or 1.5. I'm like, that is like the absolute bottom, but you just never know with these people on Vivi, to be honest. How old am I? I'm 31. I'll be 32 in the next few months, probably 4 or 5 months. And how many hours a day do you put into the channel? Quite a bit. I should probably honestly put in more, but honestly, that's something I'm trying to like work out myself, to be honest. That's something I mentioned with the other content creators. Like, I'm trying to find a balance between, like, you know, just grinding, because just grinding and just like throwing out content incessantly without a lot of like direction or anything like that is obviously not like the best idea. Trying to be coming out with unique content, so that's why I'm trying to work on like emotes. I've been working on like the t-shirts like a little bit, probably not as much as I should. Kind of, and that's why even with this video, this stream, kind of moving away a little bit from like the technical analysis stuff, because I don't know, I think just kind of like just sitting and chatting. I mean, I feel like most people have ecomi wiki. Most people can look up charts for the most part. I know I kind of bring a unique perspective as well, but a day, it really depends on the day. Some days I only put in like 3-4 hours, then other days I'll put in like 8 to 12, depending on like if it's a weekend or if I'm trying to work on like a different project, stuff like that. If I'm doing like a Wednesday thing where it's kind of like, which is probably another poll thing I would love to do with members, which is my little Wednesday thing where I'll do like, it's probably easier I just show you kind of like what that looks like. I called it Wednesday because it was an early series I used to do for my channel. That was, I think it was 2 Wednesdays in a row. I called it Wednesday, but it'd be cool, like every Wednesday I come up with a thing. And it just started getting, it took way too long to do it. So now I do it like once a month. Let's see. And that's another thing I need to work on, is I'm trying to make my, not this. I don't know why it's only showing part of my screen. Oh, it's because it's not like full window mode, whatever. I know this is covering my face, but I don't care. But one thing I do need to fix is like all my thumbnails like look the same. So I'm trying to make my morning vibe check thumbnails. I need to update it so they look a bit different. So if you guys didn't know, I'm gonna move it. Every morning, not every morning, but I would say most drops, if I can honestly wake up early enough and like pull up the market and do all that stuff, is I do like a just a quick breakdown of like the top losers, top gainers of collectibles and comics, like before a drop. Because sometimes people want to make moves when the market reopens, right? Because there's a 1 hour window where the market's just closed and you can't see anything, right? So I usually release a video that's like 15 to 20 minutes long, so that way someone actually has something to watch while the market is closed and you're kind of just waiting for the drop. Or there's some people like myself where I typically make my moves like when the market opens, and I start buying stuff because I just noticed stuff is super cheap. Like people try to just sell stuff last minute on the market. Like, oh my God, there's 5 minutes left before the market closes. I need enough gems for this drop or to play this thing in the secondary market. So people panic and they just really undercut prices. So that's typically what I do. And that's called a vibe check. I'm just doing a quick vibe check on the market. Those seem to do all right. It's pretty low effort, to be honest. Really easy to do. But yeah, so this was... So this Boba Fett one, I don't know if you guys can see it. If I open like in a new tab. These were ones that I did for... What's the other one, Wednesday one? God, this is like really going back, I feel. I'm surprised like how many videos I've really done. No, that's not it. I think that's it. Oh, no, I've done 2 more, but it was like really early. There's this one, and then there's this one. I'll show it really quick. So this is what I did, Book of Boba Fett. If you guys haven't seen this one was a lot of fun to do. My thing is just like lagging right now because I'm running like a lot of windows. That is loud. So this is one I did for Book of Boba Fett. And I'm just going to give you guys like quick spoilers on it, what it looks like. So it's basically just something I like to have fun with. Like I do like to have some fun in Photoshop. The Jurassic Park one was like my very first one I did. All that kind of stuff. It's just purely just for fun. Oh my God. My early videos are pretty cringe. So this is another one I did with like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where I talked about each one. And I try to put it in a layout where it looks like it's like Vivi official, right? Like I try to put it up in a way where it looks like it's an official Vivi drop or something like that. So I have fun with those occasionally. I'm trying to figure out what's the next IP I'm gonna do. I think I might do something anime. We'll see. I might do like an anime thing where it's just gonna say when Wednesday it's going to be a certain anime. But I do want to do, don't tell Dino, but I do want to do a Star Wars one before May the 4th, and he's going to freak out. So that's more than likely it's going to happen. But yeah, it depends on the channel. Honestly, this is something I do want to do full time, but to be honest, like I feel like unless you're like a really early OG like Randy Chavez or like Cavell Anderson, and you're making enough money via donations and or what's it called, like ad revenue and stuff, it's like really hard to do that. Like if you really wanted to do this like full time, I just don't think there's enough people on the platform yet to do it. So despite the fact we have tens or hundreds of thousands of people like on the app, it's just like there's just not enough people like on YouTube and doing research and looking up stuff. Like there's tons of people like my friends and my roommate that just, and it's okay, like they can do this, but all they do is open up Vivi, play the drop, they lose, you know, they didn't win it on drop, they close the app and they don't open it again. They don't care about getting interested in like the community or hanging out in Discord or on YouTube or anything like that. Like a lot of people are like that, and that's fine, but I just don't think we have like enough people on YouTube right now to have it just like make sense. Is that a bare-chested lady on the poster? Yeah, nobody said anything about that. I know. Is that a bare-chested lady on that poster? Yeah, nobody said anything that I know. I don't know what you're trying to mention here, Justin. I'm so sorry if you're like trying to like make a joke or something and I'm just like not following. Hey James, what do you think of Woody costing more than the new Golden Moment set? Kind of crazy, right? Yeah, I think it's just like the Golden Moments, people are just feeling like it's saturated. Like Woody is like a one of one thing. Like obviously he's the only one, but I do think some people are treating Golden Moments as like one large entity rather than just like the individual FAs, right? I still think the best Golden Moments are going to be the original ones or just like super popular characters. Like I do think there are some FAs that could come out that could like dethrone the originals, you know? But as of right now, like I still think like Iron Man, Elsa, like those are all solid bets. C-3PO, R2-D2. I do see, you know, Wally is going to go down, but like the original ones are still holding their value. I mean, they've gone down a lot, don't get me wrong, but they're not the cheapest by any means. Couldn't have said it better myself. It's definitely a relief. But what do I think of it? It's a little bit surprising. But even then, I do think there are some people that have stacks of Woody and they're just like not letting it go. Like Woody is like an NFT that actually quite a few people have stacks of, I would say. I'm gonna grab a box, test the luck. Either way, if they end up being successful, usually some of the first ones that go up in value, that is true. Maybe I don't want to open the box just because I don't want to have to deal with like immutable X and coming up with a MetaMask and all that stuff and gas fees. And that's all stuff I probably need to learn eventually. But as of right now, I think I'm just spoiled with Vivi, just how simple it is. Yeah, you can still buy 8 and 4 packs, I'm pretty sure. I like how they look so... Even if they don't go crazy, I don't mind having the collection. Yeah, that is really cool. Your NFTs look way better. Haha, yeah. Those do look awesome. The Ukraine poster. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Do you think Winnie could be low S tier golden moment? I honestly think it's probably a little bit closer to like a low A tier, to be honest. I don't know about S tier. I'm kind of favoring... I kind of lean towards Rob Stuff's like mentality about Winnie the Pooh. Don't get me wrong. Dr. Tito Mazza. What's up, dude? Welcome. Thanks for being a member. Now you have access to all the awesome emotes that I like to have fun and meme with. Dude, if Vivi allowed you to actually show emotes from other channels on theirs, it would be so awesome. I really wish I could show these emotes, and that's another thing. I want to share emotes with other content creators so you can like spam your stuff. But Dr. Tito Mazza, welcome to the Vibe Tribe. I appreciate it. Actually, I should also put this chat overlay above that. There we go. That makes it better. But in my opinion, I think it's low A tier, and I will update my golden moments tier list. So I used to have a... So this was my old tier list. Oh, I have to log into this one because I haven't logged into my account. See if I can like remember my login, I guess. Give me a sec here. Why is there an ad running? So if there's a bit of lag, I do not know what's going on. Let's close this. But yeah, I had a lot of fun working on those projects. Like that Win Wednesday stuff was a lot of fun. I enjoyed working on those. It does take a lot of time, and but I do enjoy that. Like just doing technical like market analysis stuff is like fun, don't get me wrong, but after a while, like I do want to do something like a little bit more creative for the most part. So all right, let's see if I got this now. Should have gotten it by now. Okay, so I need to update this because we obviously have more golden moments now than we did prior. So, because this was the old golden moments tier list I made. Right here. So it actually had all the golden moments here at the bottom. And you could literally just, and that was the other thing too, I wasn't a huge fan of. Like, I don't know if it's because of my my dark reader thing, it would kind of hide the tiers. So there's like S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and that's all. That's and that is those. Whoops, not that. And that tier list is self-contained in the set, right? So if I'm putting a golden moment at D tier, it doesn't mean it's similar to like an independent IP D tier, or it's like the same as a Kripken D tier. It's just within that set. If you're just comparing the set to itself and that's it, that's where it's ranked at. So it's not like, oh, it's a D tier. Like a D tier golden moment doesn't mean it's terrible. It just means compared to all the other golden moments, it's just not that great. But even then, it's a D tier golden moment is probably still better than some of the quote unquote A tier NFTs of a different set, right? Or of a different thing. So it highly depends. So I'll show it here again. And so I need to add the others because this does have Donald and Daisy right here, as well as Lady and the Tramp. So I do need to update this. I can do that pretty easily, but this you could just drag and drop. You can just plug and play all of this, and you can put, oh, well, Sorcerer's Hat's above Homer, but unless this happens, and you can swap these around for the most part. So it's very straightforward. So I do need to come up with an update of this. I might do another video, and I do want to give this, and that's super easy because I can just give that to other content creators, and they could just make a golden moments, like they could just make a video of their tier list of what they think is the best, right? And I think that's the fun part, because before, view community rank, there was like a link in here that you would click and it would show you I thought it would show you like the average of what everyone thought, like based on like what everyone put their golden moments, it would show you like the average. But I'm gonna close this because this thing has an absurd amount of ads, and I thought I had ad blocker on Google Chrome, but I guess not. Anyway, what up, vibes? Me and my fiance are here chilling. Nice. So the fiance said, "What's up?" JOC.com. What's up? Diseases for dinner. Grab 2 of the $50 HRO boxes. I don't know if I want to open when I get them. That's what I'm debating too. Like I bought one, I might buy another one like before the end of the week or something like that. So I'm debating whether I actually want to open them. Like it could be one of those things where it's like, it's just cool to have. Like maybe open one and keep the other. It's hard to tell. What do you think David used pre-recording is about? You think we'll bust more flames? Huh. It depends. So like, so Alex said in a tweet that like, who said anything about a big announcement? You know, I don't think he said don't expect a big announcement, but just something along the lines of like, who said there was going to be a big announcement Wednesday? People need to tamper their expectations, you know, yada, yada, yada. But then again, that's the same person that said, yeah, I don't think we have any more golden moments planned in the near future. And that was 3 weeks ago. And then we get golden moments a couple days ago. So I don't think he's like intentionally lying or trying to like mislead us or anything like that. I think in some ways he just generally doesn't know. Like maybe it's a different department, or maybe he's just not involved with those kind of decision-making things. Or maybe some of the people like him just don't know about a drop until a few days before they announce it on Twitter, and that's it. So, but with this pre-recorded thing, I'll be honest, like if they don't give us some like hard timelines with MTL, OMI to NFT, any kind of like OMI utility thing, Q system, like we want some more meat and potato stuff about the app. Like the drops are fun and all that stuff. It's just causing the market to crash, which I don't mind. Like, you know, it is what it is. I do think the market's going to recover eventually, but I do think we need to get some actual timelines right for some of these things so we can actually see like somewhat of a light at the end of the tunnel for the most part, because right now we can't see it. A lot of people, I do believe it's there, but as of right now, like I can't. The light is so tiny, it's so low resolution, you can't really see it. Like, you know it's there, but you just want to have at least some sort of roadmap or timeline for just something that's going to come out, right? Because they promised, not promised, you know, it's always hashtag soon, but it's like we're supposed to essentially get what MTL, Q system, OMI to NFT, master collector program, and like 1 or 2 other things that I'm probably forgetting, like literally all by the end of this year. And we're like almost done with Q1 of 2021, and we have none of it right now. So, you know, not fighting or anything like that, just kind of curious. Like I would just love to just get at least a rough roadmap. And I know they've been doing that for a while, but I would love to at least get something, something along those lines. And even though maybe Alex or maybe some other people on the Vivi team might not think like, well, the stuff we're going to talk about isn't a big deal, but maybe they'll bring up a point or a roadmap, or at least like a rough date for some of these things. And like, that's just enough. Like, that's all I want. Like, that's important information for people. So, hey, vibes. Do you know why ASM 252 uncommon to be cheaper than the common? Do you recommend to get that? Alfredo Rodriguez, what's up, man? Dude, I love this. Getting a lot of like new names, getting JOC.com, Alfredo. No, I accidentally skipped Daniel's question too. My bad. Let me answer Daniel's thing. Sitting on 4.1k gems, would you still hold or invest? I would just hold, dude. I'll be honest. If I had 4.1k gems, not financial advice, I'm holding until we get at least a rough outline of MTL. Until we actually get like a soft release date or just anything, I'm not spending any gems. If I had that many, I'm not spending anything, to be quite honest. I'm just holding. And that's the thing. I think for you, Dana, what you want to do, and this is something I've done myself and it's worked out pretty good, have a list of NFTs that you want to buy, going from the ones you want the most all the way to the least, right? And let's say there's a point where you just waited too late, or some stuff just starts really pumping and it's just too late. Unlikely with this kind of market. Like, I just don't see, like, I mean, it could happen, but I just don't see, like, let's say you really wanted R2D2, that like R2D2 is just going to immediately appear at 10K again overnight. Very, very, very unlikely. But so I would put a list of like, okay, here's all the golden moments I want. If these start pumping and it's just way too late, all right, maybe I want these lenticular cards or Pixar drops or some of these lower tier golden moments. And if they start pumping, I go here. Like, try and have like 10 or 15 NFTs you have just kind of like lined up from the ones you want the most to the least. Because once, honestly, in my opinion, once things like start really pumping and you feel like you're late, then you just move on to the next thing, right? There's so many winners on the app that it's not like it's not like there's just like one or two NFTs and like those are the only like profitable ones. Yeah, like some of them might do a 4x, but there's other NFTs that could do a 2.5x or a 3x. It doesn't mean they're bad, it's just not as good, right? And plus, like, even though right now everything is so cheap, even if it did pump a little, it's probably still good to buy it, because if it has a really high ceiling or if it has a lot of historical data of doing well, there's that, as you know, you can do that. Let me go back to here. Oh no, Logan, thank you so much. Thoughts on Tokidoki? Ritmo was animated post-drop. Really interesting. First of all, thanks for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that. Thoughts on Tokidoki? I really, really like the Dragon Girls, to be honest. That is Tokidoki. And I think we are supposed to get more Tokidoki drops in the future, because like if you look at this see if it'll show it. I might have to like open and close Vivi a few times for you to see it. Yeah, because it's literally on the loading screen. I might have to actually like open and close Vivi a few times, because there's other NFTs. You ever see those like silly ones that looks like a little like T-Rex, or some of the other like silly NFTs? Still showing Spider-Man. Yeah. Okay, skip this. I'm gonna try it like 2 more times, and if it doesn't show it, then I think you probably get my point. But I kind of want to show an example. Nope. 1 more time. Come on, work with me. I definitely don't think they like removed it, but it's here. Yeah, one of these. This is actually a Tokidoki like thing. This is actually a Tokidoki like statue drop. Let's see if I can find it. I know I'm like kind of a little off topic, but and I know you're asking about Ritmo. To be honest, I haven't really looked at Ritmo too much. Yeah, like if you look here, I'll show it really quick. So this is actually, so I put Tokidoki Donutella or whatever. Like that's the same thing as the NFT. So like this one and like the green T-Rex looking one, you guys have seen it before if you open the app. We still have more Tokidoki to come. Like, I just don't understand why it's like on the front page and we just don't have it yet. So it's probably just in the works, or maybe they haven't released it yet, but like these are actually Tokidoki like statues that exist in real life. So we're not done with Tokidoki by any means. But Ritmo, I don't know, I'm not really big on like the unicornos or mermicornos personally, but Ritmo is one of the more unique looking ones, like alongside like Sharkbite and some of the other ones. So I don't know, but I really, really like the Dragon Girls a lot. Like, I like the common and uncommon the most. I don't think Ritmo's like a terrible investment for the most part, but I think the more unique looking Tokidokis, in my opinion, are probably going to do the best. I don't know. It's hard to say. I wish I could have like a more info-packed or formulated opinion, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. But I did think that is really cool that those drops and like the T-Rex looking one, I think it's only a matter of time before we get it. So I think that would be a decent little question for Vivi, is like, hey, we have these like Tokidoki like dolls or things on the front, like there's the little donut girl, there's a little T-Rex, like are we gonna get those eventually? Like, I think it's kind of interesting. So now you guys know. Dang, HRO selling out. Yeah, I think it's going pretty quick. Also, yeah, we literally need anything. The market is running on nothing. Yeah, some people are blaming, like, don't get me wrong, bots are definitely a part of it. Half price gems are definitely a part of it, but it's not the end all be all. People are fighting out really, really hard. There are people that did get a lot of these collectibles on drop, and they could still, like, for me right now, like, I've Steamboat Willie, I got him on drop. I could still sell it right now and make a profit, even though it's at, like, you know, 2,500 or 2,300 or wherever I last saw it. So, you know, that too, all that stuff combined. And there are some people like myself that probably only put in, you know, a few hundred gems or a few $100s, and their vault values, let's say just 2,000, like they could still sell their stuff at a massive loss and still come out on the other side profitable, right? They got the experience of Vivi and all that stuff, but you know, there's still people like that maybe won a handful of drops. Now they're so profitable that they can still sell a lot of their collectibles at a massive loss, you know, gem wise, but they can still come out the other side profitable. So there is that as well. Alfredo, are you the dude that secured the 7th SR Aston Martin? If so, that'd be awesome. I was noticing the same thing on the screen when you log in, right? And that's one thing I do want to do at some point, and I don't own them yet. I used to have a common Spider-Man, but I sold it a long time ago. Is I do want to get all the loading screen NFTs. I think that's just kind of cool, right? Because I do think in a way, like, those will become not like grail pieces, but they're going to be highly sought after because people are like, oh my god, like, you got the common spot that's on the loading screen. That's so cool, right? I'm actually still like playing with like restarting it over and over just to see. Kaiju is the green T-Rex. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. So like, I'm not big. I don't know much about the Tokidoki stuff, but yeah, like those are all. That's all. It's all on Vivi. I mean, it's on the loading screen. It's kind of weird that it's not on the app yet. Someone also mentioned too that one of the like loading screens, kind of like this, where it kind of shows, no, not that, where it shows like, I mean, that's a Tokidoki thing too, right there, obviously. But where it also shows Batman Who Laughs, and it talked about like utility, or it wasn't talking about utility. It was talking about like interactive or something like that. So some people theorized that like the Batman Who Laughs was going to be like interactive or something like that, or maybe get like an animation in the future. I'm gonna try like one more time. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Do you think they'll animate all of them? I don't know. It's so strange. Like, I'll be honest, it's kind of weird how like Vivi on the back, because that is technically changing NFTs, right? Like, a lot of people are investing in NFTs based on the fact that they can or can't animate, right? A lot of people like the ultra rare and secret rare of Black Panther because they're animated, right? But what if they added an animation to the rare, then the uncommon, then the common? Will that lower the price of the secret rare and ultra rare because now those are no longer uniquely animated? It's hard to tell. So it's kind of strange. I kind of hope, at least as of right now, I'm kind of torn like 60-40. Like 60% of me wants them to just like, look, don't touch the NFTs. Like, they're done. They're minted. It is what it is. Just leave them as is. If it's animated, great. If it's not, then whatever. The only exception I would maybe do is just because the vehicles, it literally says interactive, right? They just don't have the technology right as of right now to make them all animated for whatever reason. But it says right there, interactive, so it kind of at least stands out unless people know like, all right, there's something to this. Plus there's a lot of rumors that, not rumors, but it's confirmed that the DeLorean early on, you could drive it around much like you could with the Aston Martin. But other than that, I kind of hope they don't just like randomly start giving anime. Well, if it's in the Vivi verse, sure, whatever. But as the NFT itself, not too sure, to be quite honest. That's not something I haven't thought about too much. Biscotti is the one, is one of the donut girls. Yeah, I don't know, like donut grills. Yeah, I couldn't think of the like proper term or whatever it is. Looking to sell or cash out? I don't know what Alfredo's most thing was. It was a glitch of the system. Got a JB 007 plate on a 241. Interesting. But after a day or two, returned to regular. Huh. Interesting. Man, if you sold that quick, you're like, dude, I got it glitched. Why did you just sell it super quick? I don't know. But that's awesome, dude. You got one of the secret rare Aston Martins. I do think, as of right now, and I said this before, actually, let's look it up really quick. Where is the secret rare Aston Martin? Where is it? Where is it? What in the hell? Work with me, app. Okay. Vivi's like really glitching out on me. Am I still live? It seems to be working. Okay, there it goes. I'm like, did my internet get disconnected? Because like, nothing is loading on Vivi right now. I think Vivi's just like straight up down right now. You see this? Nothing is working. Something weird is going on. I've already restarted Vivi like 3 times. So it's like letting me log in. Thoughts on collectibles versus comics right now? To be honest, like right now, like I said before, I'm not really buying anything. The only thing I am buying is probably comics. Yeah, it's not letting me log into the app for some reason. That is strange. Oh well. I don't know what's going on. Something's going on. Me also? Okay, good thing I'm not alone. Right now, I'm also kind of avoiding collectibles for the most part. I'm just kind of focusing on comics because comics right now are... I mean, they're dipping right now hard. Like, don't get me wrong, they're dipping hard right now as well, but I do think comics, or not comics, but collectibles do seem to be very susceptible to just dips in general, gem squeezes. I've said this before, but I do think that I used to think it was an advantage, and actually it's a double-edged sword. When the because a lot of the collectibles share obviously similar IPs, a lot of them are in the same sets or groups or whatever it is. Like if R2-D2 pumps, usually C-3PO and or the other golden moments are going to pull up together with it, right? Same thing with lenticular cards. Like there's a time period where like Donald Duck was actually more expensive than Pluto, and then it was either Donald Duck had to go cheaper or Pluto had to go up because Pluto is just a higher rarity, less mints. Like it just made sense, right? So they could overtake each other in a way. But now it's like because things are crashing, now everything's pulling each other down with the collectibles. It does seem like comics are much more independent. So just because this one comic over here is nosediving, it doesn't mean this other comic over here is falling. You know, like I do think because the new golden moments, literally all of them are below 200 gems right now. A lot of people are selling lenticular cards for golden moments, you know, and I've noticed something like that. And I've talked to other content creators and they agreed there's way more questions now. Because when I used to start the streams and stuff like that, or did videos, a lot of people were asking, hey, should I trade this, you know, these unicornos for this Batman, or should I trade this independent artist thing for this Disney NFT or whatever it is. But now more so people are like, hey, should I sell Iron Man for the new golden moments? Should I sell this lenticular card and this thing? Should I sell this Spider-Man for these Disney NFTs and stuff? And I think right now people just kind of assumed, hey, the new golden moments are cheaper than the lenticular cards. Golden moments are better than the lenticular cards, so I'm going to be selling my lenticular cards for this. And so there's a lot of just, I think because all the collectibles are just so connected together, it's so easy just to sell them off and kind of explain in your head, like, hey, this is better than this. And like, even someone mentioned earlier, like, why is Woody better than this? Like, you don't really see that with comics. Like, you don't see like, hey, why is this so high? Why is it overtaking this comic and that comic? I don't know. That's just like a trend that I've noticed. Like, again, that's just me. I could be wrong. Maybe some other content creator or someone else has a differing opinion, but I do think that's the best and worst part about collectibles because everything is connected. Don't get me wrong. Like if a lot of different comics were pumping, probably some comics would pump as well, or, you know, whatever it is. But it does seem like collectibles are just so connected together that once one IP or once one group of NFTs or collectibles start like really just dumping, a lot of stuff just kind of follows and people start panicking and stuff. So I would love if they animated the aquarium Mermacorno and had the fish swimming around inside its head. That would be kind of cool. I did have that one. Was it Aquaria? No, it was Cerulean. I think it was Cerulean that had like the frog on its head and some other stuff. I did like that one a lot, actually, because I actually did end up winning Shark Bite. Cerulean just one just stuck out to me, but I actually did win Shark Bite on the drop, and I ended up selling it for like $450 or something like that on the market. I just wanted to get rid of it ASAP, to be quite honest. I'm kind of glad I did in like the long run, but Remo was not animated when he was first released. They added it later, and now he's like 900 gems. That's crazy. And see, things like that is, I don't know how I feel about it. Then just like retroactively just adding animations to stuff, and I don't know. The biggest laugh was seeing Peeps buy Ukraine drops for charity. They got burned good. Enjoy your charity. Yeah, I don't mind. Like I didn't win the poster on drop. I invested in the poster. I've made a profit on all of it. I did, and I kind of knew those would probably more than likely go for below box price for like temporarily, and I thought they would go up. But I mean, when you get smacked with golden moments, and what was another big drop? I could have sworn there was like another big drop between now and like golden moments, like between the Ukraine drop thing and then now. Maybe that was just golden moments. Pixar, that's what it was. You know, when you have Pixar literally announced the day before you're supposed to drop your NFT by independent artists for a Ukraine project. I mean, it's awesome. You know, people got to donate, you know, money and all that stuff. So I did get a silver. Of course I got the silver. So I ended up getting the silver on the drop. I bought it, and you know, it's kind of nice knowing I sent some money over. Like, that's always cool. But yeah, like now it's super cheap. Both of the sunflowers are super cheap right now, for the most part. So, I mean, yeah, I lost probably what, 20, 30 gems, like whatever. But it is kind of nice knowing that like I'm the original owner and things like that. Might not be a big deal. It's not a big deal in the long run. But if people like were stacking them or like at 60 gems or something like that, then yeah, I feel bad for them. Will it go back above 60? For sure. It's just going to take time, just like everything else. That sucks, but still, you got a good one. Yeah, dude. SR Aston Martin. I was going to look it up because there was a period of time, and I still kind of believe this in a sense, where as of right now, I think it might be better to get a SR Aston Martin than like a Todd. As of right now, just because I think it's going to be easier to get Todd like 6 months from now than it is like an SR Aston Martin. SR Aston Martin is like the grail of all cars and vehicles and FE tags and, you know, whatever the hell you want to kind of explain it. Like Todd is a huge deal, like too, don't get me wrong. I do think it kind of got brought down like half a peg, the fact that it's not, oh, the first on the blockchain. It kind of is, because GoChain is a blockchain, but it's just like not well known and no one uses it. So I don't know. It's like Todd is still a big deal. Like, don't get me wrong, but I still think there are way more people stacking Todds that have had Todds for a long time that still sell them off occasionally. So the price will dump. Yeah, that's my take. Really bought the price of the UR DeLorean to... Brought the price of a UR DeLorean to 500? Really? Damn. I wish I could like look it up on my phone, but the market... let me double check. See if the Vivi app is still working. Maybe they did an update, you know? It's typical Vivi fashion to kind of like just have an update and not tell anyone. Alright, here we go. There we go. We're in business. I wanted to look up the 007 drop, which should be here, around here. Right? Did I pass it unknowingly? Maybe not. Oh well. Tokidoki. I feel like I like overlooked it. There it is. I feel like I overlooked it. Well, we got one of the 7-mint ones. 4.6K. I think Todd is cheaper than that right now, right? I don't think he's at 4.6. I think he's a little bit higher. $4.8, not much higher, but really brought the price of the UR DeLorean to 500. Is that where it's at right now? There's no way it's at that right now. Disease for dinner. Or are you talking about like historically? I almost clicked on Ghostbusters. No, it's Back to the Future, which should be up here, right? This is B for... There it is. I knew I was going the wrong way. Not 2, I want 1. Not that. It's not up to 500 now, is it? Holy moly. So are people really buying this up right now? You guys are actually making me pull up these damn charts. I said I was gonna pull up any charts today, but now you got me curious. Hold on. I'm muted. My bad, my bad, my bad. I know. Sorry, I didn't catch up with chat. Long story short, I honestly, the DeLorean is a vehicle I didn't look at very closely. Sure as hell, the like ultra rare, I didn't look at it closely at all whatsoever. So this kind of surprised me. Yeah, I mean, not only are we getting, I mean, we could get to like early 2021 prices, right? Or like mid 2021 prices, because the DeLorean came out in April of last year. So we're already below December pricing. Now we're getting into November pricing, and then could get even lower than that. And that's why I told that one person earlier that was sitting, Daniel, and was like, hey, I'm sitting on 4.1k gems. Would you still hold or invest? I'm just hold. Like, dude, I would just hold. I wouldn't spend a single gem until Vivi gives us a more concrete, or at least like a rough timeline of MTL. Because honestly, I think all this literally revolves around MTL and a little bit of Master Collector Program, like MCP, to be quite honest. So I will double time it through chat because I'm behind. Since you guys are talking HRO, have you seen where they are in Immutable X for over 1 ETH? Should we get ready to sell through that way? Open box versus keep box, sealed, and sell in the future? Thoughts? I have no idea. I mean, I guess you just run the odds, right? It depends on how many boxes you got. I don't know. Maybe it's worth it to open the box. Like, I just got 1 box right now. But then again, we're not going to get deliveries till April, so at least I'm not. Like, I could have sworn that's what it said. It's like, we're not going to get deliveries till like April. So April, yeah. So we got another few more weeks to go. But yeah, I mean, if you're getting 1 ETH out of it, I don't know how much an ETH is right now. What is an Ethereum? How much is ETH right now? ETH right now is sitting at $2.8K right now, roughly 2,845. I mean, I could use an extra 2.8 grand, but the thing is, it's, you know, I did get the A pack, so it's the premium pack. You get the, you know, you get something from the Joker set or whatever. So I don't know. I might have to like look into that market a bit more. We'll see. My VV went down. Yeah, I'm gonna double time it through chat because I know these messages are probably from 20-30 minutes ago. Maybe VV vibes. Let's do market snipe. Got a Miss Marvel 4-digit to blow anyone up for grabbing it for 1 gem. Interesting. Huh. Yeah. Bring it up again in a little bit, like after I get through chat. If you're still down to do it, like that sounds like a lot of fun. Big independent artists will eventually go to 0. Yes and no. I don't think they'll all go to 0. I think some people still like them. Some people do like the rarity of them. Master Collector points. And I think that's, Rich Buddy, that's the whole point of the Master Collector program, is like, people are just gonna buy the cheapest thing. So if you're one of the independent artists and one of your collectibles is at the very bottom, people are gonna buy it up just because it's cheap MCP. Like, honestly, Master Collector program is pretty ingenious by Vivi. Like, people were buying up a ton of the Electra stuff just because it was cheap Master Collector points, right? Like, people are literally just buying poop drops for cheap Master Collector points. So I don't think anything, technically, I don't think anything on the app is going to hit 0, but some stuff's going to get very low. And if it does, it might get scooped up. So there will be some NFTs fighting for the bottom position of Master Collector program, like a lot. I could totally see it. NYX is so cool. I already flipped all 30 of mine for a profit. I should have kept some. I'm buying back in on the 4-digit serial numbers. Hell yeah, that's awesome. I actually got the NYX emote here for now. There's some emotes I've been playing around with. You guys don't know. If you guys want to become a member, you get these fun emotes to play with occasionally. Got the upside down head Electra. And I'm going to mess around with these a bit more. I really like the Iron Man one because that point emote is hilarious. But the other 3, the NYX, Electra, and the Finn Mertens head, I'll swap those out. I think it's kind of fun to kind of swap those out. I think like once a week with some new stuff. But I'm going to keep the VV vibes, the up, the down arrow, and probably the Iron Man because it's just too funny. I think today's drop will have gaming utility. I've heard that too, Block Max, that because it's so like not good and like low res or whatever, that it could have some gaming utility. I'll be honest, what I think it is just a lot of the, I guess we can go back to here now. I'll be honest, I think a lot of the, I actually need to close this. I think all of the the DC NFTs that we've had, like that's why like the DC girls like look infinitely better than all the Marvel ones we have. Like if you compare Invisible Woman and Storm to like any of the DC characters or like NFTs, the DC looks way better because all the DC drops are based on statues made by an actual like professional artist, and you know they worked very closely with the artist. So when DC approached Vivi or vice versa, whatever, they probably just gave them the 3D renderings, the lighting, the digital assets, like whatever they needed. They just gave it to Vivi, and it was pretty much just a plug and play for Vivi. It was super easy. Like, hey, we already had these statues. Like, we had to make these statues digitally to like print them out on the press and, you know, on the machines to manufacture it. So they just gave it to Vivi, and they're like, yeah, here it is. And they, you know, Vivi probably had to do some stuff, either in-house or outsource it and stuff. But I think with all the Marvel drops, including the women, like if you look at them, like they're not good looking at all comparatively to DC. So like Storm, Invisible Woman, Elektra, like I think it's all outsourced. So it's really hard to get a good, you know, quality control over it. And on top of that, you know, they're doing it from scratch. Like they probably don't have the digital assets, the 3D renderings and all that stuff. So they're just making these NFTs straight up from scratch. And it's really hard to do, especially if you're outsourcing it and you can't keep a close eye on the quality versus in-house. You know, if you did it in-house, it'd probably be better quality, but it costs more, you know, and all that stuff. So I think that's what's happening. I think all the Marvel NFTs are just getting outsourced, which is why they just, not all the Marvel NFTs, but just the Marvel ones that are like the 3D exclusive digital collectibles, whichever Vivi calls them. Those ones are just low quality because they're just being outsourced. Comics have too many high mints to be worth it, more than any collectible. I mean, people thought that for a long time. I mean, literally, I don't know if you know this, Rich Buddy. Ukraine was a Vivi rug pull. Not really. I wouldn't say that. But comics have too many high mints. I mean, people thought that until Marvel Comics, which has 60,000 mints, is going for probably still more than 90% of the collectibles on the app. The common is going for more than most of the collectibles on the app. So if something is popular enough, I don't think the mint number matters. If something is popular enough, people will buy it up. Look at the common Spider-Man. Common Spider-Man has 32,000 mints, and it's still at what, 350 gems or something like that. So holding Ukraine painting for sure. Yeah, I'm holding Ukraine painting. Yeah, I'm doing it. It's in a weird way, it's kind of its own historical piece, right? Plus, it's only 150 gems. I mean, you can buy one for 140 right now. It's not gonna like break the bank or anything like that. Miss Marvel 441 for 1 gem at 4.46 UK time. Grab it. Oh, I already missed that a while ago. Is what I'm trying to say. You think Pixar is so low? In my opinion, the best looking at. Yeah, they are. And it's not just based off like looks is part of it, but also like those are all animated characters. It's pretty easy to make those, right, rather than fully fledged like 3D NFTs that are built from the ground up, like Elektra and Storm and all that stuff. They're popular, but they're just cheap, right? And I do think those should be more expensive, but I think people are just at their wits' end. Like most people don't want to sell their NFTs for massive losses and pick up these new ones. And people just don't have like the fiat, right? To just keep pumping money. Like I don't have the capability. I bet a lot of people don't, to put hundreds, if not thousands of gems into the app month over month over month, right? And not only that, like, you know, there is part of it is, and I think it's a legitimate reason, like there is kind of a world conflict going on right now. Like gas prices here and like where I live, it used to be like $3.20. Now it's at like $4.80. The price of a lot of stuff has just gone up. So even though people do want to invest more into Vivi, anytime there's like a world conflict or just prices of stuff are just going up across the board, like the first thing that people are either going to cash out of or just not pay any attention to or put money into is speculative investing, which is NFTs, right? So I think that's why it's dipping. Or that's also part of the reason why the price is low, is like the market's just been hard crashing. A lot of people have their assets or their NFTs and they're just holding, like I'm doing that too. I'm just holding all my NFTs. Like I just don't have the capability of putting in thousands of gems to buy up all the Pixar drops, or else I would, but I just can't. Thinking of buying Todd or C3PO. Both are good. To be honest, VCur, I would just wait. I think you can get them for cheaper. Both of them, you can get them for cheaper. Snipe Time, put it up for 169. Dude, that's so nice of you, Vivi Dream. Or whoever else was giving it away. Shahi, thank you so much for the giveaway. Whoever won it, that's awesome. Artist projects are great for OpenSea. Worst case scenario, you have Guernica by Picasso revisited by Ron English for OpenSea. It could do very well this year. I think so too. It's literally a pretty well-known independent artist. The art piece itself looks awesome. It's a charity slash humanitarian like Vivi NFT, and it's based on the Spanish. It was originally based on the Spanish Civil War, which was then interrupted by World War II, which is what the painting is about Picasso, about a current conflict. Like, there's so many layers to the story. I just really like it personally, right? And this is someone that, like, I will not necessarily shit talk, but I'm usually a person that's like very, very against independent artists. Like, why would you get independent artists when you can just get Disney, DC, Marvel, like literally anything else? Like, there's so many other good things on the app, but I like the messaging. I liked all that stuff. I do think it could do very well. Do you know Amazon bought the 007 franchise MGM last week? I did hear about that. Not sure what that's going to do to our current 007 NFTs or anything like that, but interesting thought. I did? Hell yeah. Check the DB5, please. DB5. Dragon Ball 5? They need exposure and marketability. Yeah, I mean, more people on the app would definitely be awesome. And those people are definitely going to be paying super cheap prices compared to what they are now. So more people on the app would be awesome. But at the same time, we're still selling out collectibles immediately, right? You're on mute. Yeah, I kind of realized that a while ago. Is he on the phone? No, I wasn't. No voice, only music. Yeah, I caught up on this. Just bought Journey into Mystery for $29. It's now cheaper than Ghost Rider. That's crazy. That is crazy. We'll list that at 4:57 UK time. Good luck. Y'all, Miss Marvel 4477 common. Hell yeah, I get it. Hey, Vibes in chat. I got 2 W's and all the rebounds up until 36 rebound, but only clicked buy for the 36 rebound because it was the highest rebound I've ever gotten. I got 2 at 28 today. Dude, that's nuts. I know some people. I got it on the initial drop. I just let it run out. I even took pictures of it and put it up on Twitter. And I've never gotten a rebound in my life. Like, literally never gotten a rebound up until today. I got it on the 4-minute rebound. I think 8-minute rebound without even trying. I think I just opened up the page just because I was curious. Because I was watching Vivi Vault and they were talking about it. I'm like, I'm just going to open up the app again because, you know, it's just a meme or whatever. And I got a rebound. I clicked it. I'm like, did I really get a rebound? I clicked it, and yep, sure enough, it pulled up. I'm like, wow. The first time I ever get a rebound on Vivi, I'm not even going to bother trying to buy it, right? And I did hear that the rebounds were actually happening every 2 minutes on the app. So, I knew, honestly, it was not going to be profitable. I was pretty darn close with my price predictions. I said that the common would go for 20, uncommon 25, rare would go for 45 to 55, and the secret rare would go between 120 to 150. That was my price prediction. I was a little high on the rare, but I feel like the common and uncommon were dead on, and the secret rare is kind of fluctuated. I mean, I took a screenshot. Someone floored a like mint number 74 ultra rare for like 99 gems. I'm like, what? They basically listed a sub 100 SR for sub 100, which is crazy. But I do think they were getting bought up just because it's so cheap, right? Like, if you bought it at the right time, you technically could have completed an entire set for less than 200 gems. So I do think that's the only reason why the SRs actually spiked up a bit, like up to almost 200 for a little while, just because people were just trying to complete sets. That's really it. Just me. Hey, Vivi Vibes, how many gems are you holding since you're not buying any at the moment? Are you interested in selling them off app? No, I have like 400. I think I have like 500 gems right now, roughly. I think I have like 60 loaded on my other phone, just kind of waiting for another potential like Pixar or Disney drop or Marvel or whatever. But my main phone, I think I have like 450 gems or something like that. So all in all, I have like over 500, but I'm just not buying anything right now. I'm just kind of hoarding, but I don't need to sell any off right now. If anything, at some point I might need to like buy gems at a later point, but I already have a lot of people doing escrow services that I know that could help me out with that. But I appreciate the offer, man. SR Electra is not my fave, but she's so cheap. I grabbed 2 at 150 and 160 seller keep. I mean, if you hold it long enough, it's going to go up in price, but I don't know where she's at now. I feel like she's much cheaper now, right? I mean, I could actually just look it up right here. I mean, ooh, okay, she's actually at 1 whatever. Keep doing that one accident. It's up to you. I mean, you're not getting that much profit, right? If you sold it at, let's say you sold it at 190. With the 8.5% fee, it means you get what? 183 gems or something like that? 84 gems? So you made a 34 gem profit or a 24 gem profit, depending on which one you sell. Doesn't seem like a lot. I mean, it's percentage-wise, that's great. That's like a 12, 15, almost 20% profit. It depends on how many gems you have on hand, Logan. Is it Heaney? I'm trying to pronounce like your last name right. I like her more than most. I'm not a Marvel collector, but I don't mind holding her. Only like 2k minute. That is true. It is a pretty low mint. Yeah, I mean, just hold. I do think there could be an announcement within the next 3 or 4 days that could cause a dip in the market. I don't think Rewind logo is going to cause as much of a dip as people think, if at all. Because like we already knew Rewind logo was going to be happening like 4 weeks ago, like 3-4 weeks ago. So I don't think it's going to be like that much of a surprise to anyone. Plus, like I said, unless the Givenchy like IP is behind it, I think that's why the first Rewind logo did so well, is because Givenchy was behind it. But this new one, I think if it's just a standalone thing, I'm not too sure. Would you trade a FA Wonder Woman if you had to? If you had to, take a half loss and buy 2 golden moments, Timon and Pumbaa plus Beauty and the Beast characters. Because really you're trying to figure out if basically Timon and Pumbaa buy 2 golden moments, Timon and Pumbaa plus Beauty and the Beast characters. So really you're trying to, you're hedging your bets on, will those do better than Wonder Woman in the long run? I don't know what you mean by take a half loss. So what, you bought it at, where's Wonder Woman right now? So Wonder Woman right now, I'm assuming FA, so at that 300. So did you buy these at 600? And so then you're gonna sell them off for 3. To be honest, I wouldn't, but at the same time, like even if you did do it and you bought Timon and Pumbaa, you would basically have to wait until Timon and Pumbaa hit 600-700 gems before, like together they hit 600-700 gems for them to make up the difference that you lost on Wonder Woman, right? Plus Wonder Woman would also have to hit above 600 as well. To be honest, I would just hold. I do think Timon and Pumbaa is going to be down there for like a little while. Like it's the most recent golden moments. Like it's taking Donald and Daisy like a while. Like I do think that's still one of the better golden moments, not the best. I think it's, as of right now, it's probably in like the number 6 or 7 slot of like all the golden moments. Probably in like number 7 slot, regardless. Even then, it's taken them a long time. Like I would just wait, dude, to be quite honest. And that's super tough. Just selling for a loss. Like I hate recommending it. I've done it before myself. I hate recommending it, but it's to each their own. Like I don't know your personal situation. I wish I could help more. Keep calm, stack on. I like the name, actually. I do dig the name. Let's go and close this. It's one of the most important paintings that exists. BA art history. I think so too. Any artists are needed for the budget and to give a shot to up and coming semi-famous artists. I think so too. And Ron English is not a no-name artist by any means. We need to stop missing timelines and address actual issues or no one will ever take them serious. Guernica by Picasso, yes. I agree, that's what I mean. Like, I think right now, the drops are the seasoning and like the gravy for the dish, right? Like it's fun, it's great, it looks nice, it's flashy, it's awesome. But I think people want the meat and potatoes of the entire platform, right? Which is, you know, Q system, MTL, Omi to NFT, Master Collector Program, Omi utility program. Like all these things are going to just help the app, but it's not Vivi's responsibility to like rush deadlines to help the secondary market. They're going to take their time, and I would still rather have them do things correctly. But at the same time, like we need, like the communication is honestly dog shit over at Vivi, and they do need to do a better job of communicating. That is like one thing, that is like a universal thing that I think pretty much everyone on Vivi can agree on. Like the communication just needs to be a bit more clear, no more kind of like weird hype tweets and stuff like that. Like, you can still have fun, like, don't get me wrong, but people are really reading into like everything that Alex and David Yu and like everyone's like ever tweeting, and especially Alfred Kahn, you know, as well. People are like, he said big things to come. Like, what does that mean? Like, I think that's just his signature. That's just his way of just saying thanks everyone, or like there's going to be cool things happening to Vivi soon. That's it. To be fair, the Picasso art is by Picasso, and that is only why it matters. Nothing to do with its subject. Ron English is not special. We can agree to disagree. It seems like you've had your mind made up. It's fine. Ron English has actually done a ton of iterations of Picasso, that exact Guernica Picasso painting, for the most part. And I do think the fact that it is about the conflict, I do think it's historical. I mean, you can invest in it if you want. It's not my job to twist your arm to try and believe in it, right? So it's up to you. Thoughts on what this week's platform update will be about? Does Vivi need to have a home run update, or do you think that we'll have just a... I really hope we don't, like I said, Diego earlier, I really hope we don't get more coming soon news. I would love just to get some deadlines, not just deadlines, but like at least rough dates, or at least like a not storyboard. What the hell is the term I'm looking for? Like an outline, or just a roadmap. That's it. Just a roadmap of like some of the things. And I know people have said like, well, MTL is going to be before Omid NFT. It's like, yeah, no shit. But like, we're supposed to have MTL, Omid NFT, all the shit I've been saying for the last 5 minutes, all done this year. And like, we're a quarter into the year and nothing has happened. Like, nothing has been there yet. We still have any like hard dates, anything like that. But don't sell 101, not better than these GMs. I think so too. That's my take. Especially if you're already at like a huge loss. Like, I'll be honest, I've sold a couple things at a loss, but then what I did was I was able to rebuy that item later for a cheaper price. So I kind of just generated gems out of thin air in a weird way. I don't know. But I really think we're getting at the bottom. But then again, I've been saying that for the last 6 weeks, that I think we're at the bottom. Maybe not 6 weeks, probably last month. But I did that with some Adventure Time, sold them for new Goldens. That's a good move. I don't think Adventure Time is worth more than the Golden Moments. You're just like everyone else. And that's why I said about Adventure Time and all of the, what's it called? Any of the season 1 stuff that's not like DC, and even people are selling DC for the new Golden Moments, right? Like, nothing is safe. So propaganda art has history and collectors, charitable causes to do, you win regardless. I think so too. That's why I invested in it. I kind of wish I bought a few more, but I still have 3 left, so I'm not too worried. Let the NFTs hit the floor. But for reals, I think that this is good. They should leave prices this low until we get more users. It'll be easier for new users to get in. I agree. That was another thing, and like in hindsight, it just makes sense, right? When like things got so expensive, where like everything did a 3 or 4x, it's like, are people really gonna jump on the app? And the only shit they could afford for like, you know, if you had 100 gems, like the only things you could afford are like Murmur-Cornos, very low end comics. Like, you couldn't afford much with like 100, 150 gems back then. I'm like, there's no way. But you know, hindsight's 2020. Like, yeah, should I have sold my Steamboat Willie for 9.5K when it pumped? Probably. Should I have sold everything in mid-January? Probably, but no one saw this retracement getting this crazy. I will admit, a lot of the people that are into crypto and or like other NFT projects for like a long period of time probably kind of saw something like this coming. When something pumps this hard, like, it's just, people are just going to take profit eventually. And I think that's kind of the whole sentiment, right? About what is it, like the whole like AMC GameStop thing. Like, it pumped up really high and everyone's like, oh, diamond hand. But it's like, at the end of the day, people are just going to sell. People are going to take their, you know, times 5, times 10, times 15x profits and go, because, you know, everyone has a price for the most part. 100%. Vivi doesn't have to do anything if we are being honest. They sell at every drop, so why would they need to make any changes? Today's drop was a great example. Horrible looking Electra, still sold out. Yeah, it's still sold out. And that's what I mean. I'm not telling them, I'm like, I don't care if they keep doing drops. Like, I think they should stick to this drop schedule. I think it's fine. But I think more people are just frustrated by like the lack of communication and that we just don't have an outline for MTL. for the most part. We even promised MTL for a long time. And don't get me wrong, like part of it, I'm kind of torn. Like I want the market to keep dipping because eventually I do want to buy in more gems and stuff and buy things. But at the same time, it's like I'm down on like a whole bunch of collectibles. And you know, as a content creator too, like to be honest, I've talked to like half a dozen other content creators as well, and we've all agreed like, yeah, since this market has been bearish, a lot of people have noticed less, you know, just from a financial standpoint. And Andre Jake showed this too. Like when the market is down bearish, you typically get less subs, less donations, less members, less everything. Just less because people are just, you know, less people are ecstatic about, you know, the market being bearish. Some people just log off. There's a lot of people I know that are just like, yeah, I haven't even looked at the market for 2 weeks just because I just want this to be over with when I come back. I just want it to be good feelings, right? A lot of people do that with video games and stocks and crypto. Like they're just like, I don't want to see this shit, and they just don't look at it for like a month, you know, or a few weeks or whatever it is. So, but when the market starts pumping, everyone's feeling fun and generous, and their bags are just exploding. It's like it's a great feeling, right? So, yeah, exactly. And so, you know, it could be a little bit selfish reason why I want the market to do well again, especially as someone that does cover market analysis. Like it does make it a bit easier to look at the market, kind of give recommendations and what I think. Do I think this new drop is going to be better than this or that or whatever? It's a bit easier to do that when not everything is just going down and down and down and down for weeks and weeks on end, right? But yeah. Got into Bitcoin around $10. What newbies don't realize is blockchain is here to stay. Major companies are moving here. A company like Vivi with brand names will stand. People panic selling. I agree. Like I'm totally in Vivi in the long term. But I do think the communication of Vivi and all that stuff does need to be more clear because we're supposed to get all these things before the end of the year. And it's like, it doesn't seem like any of it is going to be happening anytime soon. Grail versus group. What do you mean? Grail versus group. Not entirely sure. Grail versus group. Like stacking or what? I don't know. Hold your OMI and first drops. The common person has no idea what Bitcoin is, let alone license NFTs. Yeah, like, dude, Bitcoin took a long time to take off. It took eternity to really take off, right? And that's usually the best time to sell is when people, or not sell, but that's the best time to buy is when everyone thinks like the project's done or they're fighting really hard or people pretty much have given up hope. Like that's the best time to buy, to be honest. And there are massive cycles in Bitcoin. Like there's sometimes like the market is down for like 13, 14 months, you know. I do see those cycles shortening up more recently. But I mean, this is the first like big cycle that Vivi's had, as far as I could tell. I mean, I don't have historical data before. Well, this is Wonder Woman, but I can't see. I wasn't here before Golden Moments, and we pretty much only have data like this up until late October, and that's it. So I can't see the past. I don't know the cycles, and that's the only, not even like a regret I have, but like I said, that's the only reason why I wish I was on Vivi earlier. It's just so I could understand the market and the cycles a bit better, because if that was the case, I would have been able to predict this, right? Not exactly, but get a hint. And anyone that's in Bitcoin or crypto or anything like that probably would have saw this like, dude, if you have a run up like this, like how the fuck do you not sell like at some point during this whole downtrend cycle, right? But I'm new to the space too. I haven't been in crypto. I haven't been in anything like that prior to Vivi, to be quite honest. But I have been in a lot of other games and digital asset trading and other platforms that have made me a lot of money. So, but just the way this market is reacting, like every market's always going to be slightly different. My Bubbles NFT has been getting killed. Yep, unfortunately. That's why I kind of avoided, you know, Adventure Time, Powerpuff Girls, unfortunately. If Bubbles was, I mean, we can pull it up really quick. I know I said no charts, but I think it's okay to pull up a chart occasionally. You know, if Bubbles was genuinely the best NFT on the platform for 4.2K, she would be better than that, right? Or if she was the absolute best NFT on the platform for 5K, but that's not the case, right? People are probably selling her off to get R2D2. People are selling her off to maybe to get Todd or something else, or some other ultra rare, secret rare comics or whatever it is. So she's dipping like everyone else. I mean, she's already kind of, she's on the top end of like the November, December pricing, but she could definitely dip down lower. Pretty much all the collectibles can to a certain extent, because some of them, especially the season 1 stuff, has been on the platform for so long, right? Let's go back to here. Woody's one of the collectibles not dropping in price. It's staying between 180 and 220. Was wondering your thoughts on why it's happening. Like why it's like more than golden moments, or like why it's holding its price. I mean, Woody's a big deal. It's probably the most iconic Pixar character on the app. It's Woody, right? And I do think to a certain extent, it doesn't like hurt the value in a weird way, but I do think there is an advantage to having one FA rather than 5 FAs. Like, look at Black Panther, right? There's 5 FAs from common all the way up to SR. So the money that people want to invest in a Black Panther is spread across all 5 different rarities. But Woody, there's only one. There's only one Woody. So that's why it's probably sitting at 180. Like, if there was 5 different Woodies, you know, we'd probably see the price of all of them actually pretty low. We would probably see, like, you know, the common and uncommon probably sitting around close-ish to box price. Like, probably like 80, 90 gems. And all the other ones would be, you know, a little bit higher, but... And thanks a lot, man. Thanks for late night stream, fella. Tell me something good. There's some crazy discounts for comics right now. Rob stuff has been doing. I feel like I need to show. I love using my right hand for gestures, but it always gets like covered up by this. So when I make a gesture, you can't see it. Maybe I'll start learning to use my left hand. Rob stuff said there's a ton of good deals for comics right now. There's a ton of good deals. Same thing with my collectibles, said the same thing. Like, let's look at a couple comics. And if you guys aren't looking at comics, or to be honest, I was a person that couldn't give less of a shit about comics like 4 weeks ago. So I started like really looking at it. I'm like, all right, these are pretty good. And actually, they held their value for a long time, but even then there's a certain breaking point, right? Like if we look at, kind of just curious where NYX is right now, the common. That's a comic that a lot of people have been stacking, and this one's actually pushed like 12, 14 gems a couple times. But gosh, what was one I was, there's a couple different ones I was like looking at. Yeah, Fantastic Four common was going for like 100 not too long ago. Like there was a lot of good comics that were hanging around 100. Now they're all like at like 70. It's like Fantastic Four, number 5. Amazing Spider-Man number 1 was hanging out like around 100 as well, so that's pretty cheap. I don't know about this Fantastic Four number 1, but yeah, like all those comic commons. Can you guys even see it? What the hell? Why is it not showing it? I think I did get, my bad. I think I need to boot the program again, or like it closed or something weird. Give me a sec. Should pop up here in a second. Keep it up. Yep. All right, there we go. My bad. So Amazing Spider-Man, the common, if you guys are into commons, like all these were at like probably like 100 to 110. But now like these are all in like the high 70s, low 80s right now. I think the big one is like Ultimate Fallout. Like that one was hovering around 100, like between 110, 120 and like 95 gems, like that 30 gem range for a while. You can pick one up for like 68 gems, which is crazy. There's some really good deals for comics right now, at least in my personal opinion. But I've also been telling everyone too, just wait. I do think the prices could go down cheaper until we honestly get something related to MTL or whatever. Like I just don't, there's just not enough buying pressure on the app right now to have a lot of stuff happen. Park East Music, thank you so much for the $2, dude. Hell yeah, I appreciate it, man. The 2 doll hairs. Kind of like these late night streams. I don't know if you guys like them. Oof, I'm behind on chat. Let's double time. Good vibes. What are you doing tonight? We're just talking. Trying not to pull up the charts too much. Just trying to hang out for the most part. But if MTL date comes up in the next interview David you, I think the prices will settle, if not jump up. I feel like people are undercutting mostly due off-app gems and buying thoughts. So what I think is going to happen, and this, again, this is just my opinion. I think what's going to happen is when MTL's already priced in like 80%, I think, to be honest. I do think prices could dip from and I'm sorry if you guys have heard this before. I feel like I've said this like 10 or 15 times, like over the last like 3 or 4 days on different like streams and stuff, but you're about to hear it again. I do think I think just the initial panic. So like, let's say David Yu says, all right, we're going to start rolling out MTL to larger groups of people starting next week. And everyone's going to have MTL by the end of May. So like a full, like basically 2 months. So that'd be like 9 weeks of like rolling it out to people, right? So it's not all happening at once, like in Top Shot or whatever, that just like immensely crashed the market. But then again, they had like no heads up of it at all whatsoever. But even if they did roll it out, let's say over like the next like 9 weeks, I do think initially the market would crash pretty hard, like probably 15 to 40% across the board. So the shitty NFTs would crash like 40%, and some of the newish or some of the better high tier NFTs probably crash like 15% or something like that. So the A tier and like the grails, whatever. The real question is, are there a lot of whales or a lot of people like myself that are just waiting, but maybe they just have literally 10 times the amount of gems? Like there are people maybe with like 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 grand worth of gems just waiting to scoop the floors, or there are people just genuinely waiting to cash out, but eventually when they're ready to cash out and they do get accepted to like MTL out, they're like, all right, I could MTL, like, I could cash out right now, or like, dude, there's so many NFTs that are like really cheap, I could just scoop these up and they could just stay in the market, right? But I think what's going to happen is one of two things. Either when MTL comes out, either things are just going to like go really, really cheap for kind of an extended period of time, or I think it's going to go cheap, but it could last like less than a day. Like things just really bottom out. MTL's announced, everyone's going to have it by the end of May. Now we actually have a timeline. Things are going to bottom out, and I think people are going to start sweeping the floors within like 6 hours. So like we're gonna have things be really, really cheap for like 6 hours, and I think that's when whales, people that have been waiting for a while, you'd have to be a whale, or even if you only have 200-300 gems, like you're just waiting for the absolute bottom, right? Like you want to get the best discount possible. Then I think floors are gonna start getting swept, because I think that is the most like over looming like bearish news that we have is just MTL, right? I think that's another reason why people are afraid to buy, is just because you could buy a DeLorean UR for 500 gems. We just talked about that earlier. But if they announce MTL tomorrow, it could go all the way down to like 380, and you can just buy it then. It's, in the grand scheme of things, like, yeah, okay, it's only 120 gems, whatever. But if you multiply that by multiple DeLoreans or however many gems you have, like, I sold the AMC once it pumped. Yeah, like I know people are talking about Ape Strong, Ape No Hurt Ape, all that meme stuff with the Gorilla Gang and all that stuff, but like everyone has a price. People are going to take profits. So I'll hold Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, and Doge, and used to use AVAX, and I won't touch the Ape coin. Yeah. Heard about Ape coin. It's kind of interesting. I don't really know much about all the cryptocurrency stuff, like innately. Yes, stacking versus secret rare. I do both. I do both as well. I don't own any secret rare comics. I'm kind of more bullish on ultra rares, to be quite honest. Because if you actually look at a lot of these comics, like a lot of the time you'll be surprised, but there's actually less ultra rares than there are secret rares sometimes, because I think it's more affordable. Some people are going to like the Vivi exclusive art. On top of that, like, look at this. Like it's a two listing difference between the secret rare and the ultra rare. So ultra rare first appearance vision is 150, and I think it's secret rare is, well, it's only 600. But even then, like, not everyone can afford the secret rares of certain stuff, right? So I think gem for gem, maybe ultra rares will do better than secret rares. But then again, secret rares have the highest potential, right, to just hit an upper limit of gems. That's just crazy. Journey to Mystery, ultra rare, 320. And I've kind of talked about this before. Like, I do think some of these, not only, is that right? Wow, there is a secret rare Journey into Mystery that is a full 1.2k below floor. It's like a straight up 25% discount off floor. I can't afford it, but just thought I'd bring that up. That's crazy. Anyway, I do think there's some people that are going to be on the app that will just be cover art purists. Like, they don't care about any of the exclusive art covers, the Vivi exclusive art. They don't like any of the new artists doing any art iterations. So I do think some of these comics like this, that is just the cover art, but 4 different versions, or technically 3 different versions, These could do very well. Not only that, I mean, they're just great comics in and of themselves. If you look at New Mutants too, it's the same story, just the same cover art. And I think there's only like 5 or 6 comics that are set up like this. Marvel Comics, both Fantastic Fours, at least the high-end ones, Amazing Spider-Man, and I think that's it. So all these kind of comics with the kind of like Vivi exclusive art with the rare and ultra rare, some people might not like that. I'm just talking, and like, there's so many different variations and mentalities that come with comic book collectors. So also vibes the whole market is down. Crypto, stock, NFT, I think Vivi's too much on their hands. Will need a little bit better communication. I agree. I think so. Q2 of last year, MTL was right around the corner. Never plan on selling it, still don't. I'm just concerned with the empty promises, very worrying. Same here. I think that's it. Like when they keep just promising stuff or just saying certain things, they also at any point could have just said, hey, we said that we thought we're going to get MTL, right around the corner. We thought this is something that could take a couple months, but honestly, we ran into a lot of complications. Our goal at this point is and I think they just they don't even want to admit that information, right? Like people, they don't know what they're doing. Like it's almost like just keeping everything obscure is better than just telling the truth. I think I don't know. It just seems a bit weird. It's a double-edged sword, right? Like as much as we want them to be honest, there are people there's a lot of doomsayers out in Vivi, right? Dude, I just want to buy so many things, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Just can't. Dude, same here. I want to pull the trigger on a lot of different things. But again, dude, thank you so much for the $5. You can't compare Bitcoin to Vivi, one of the most decentralized, while one is controlled by a board and licensors. Disney. I don't think Vivi is like straight up controlled by Disney. I think Vivi is just. I mean, if you're at a table with Disney, they kind of do what they want, right? I don't think they're controlled by Disney, like based on like the Disney drops, sure, but they're not like, don't drop that DC drop, don't drop independent artists, like they're not controlling them like that. But just in the sense that there is, hopefully cycles within the NFT market, and NFTs we've already seen are pretty closely tied to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Like we are seeing that trend, whether it's Omi or whether it's Bitcoin. I feel like the market trends are pretty closely tied together. Maybe they've been working hard on big stuff, is coming soon, but without transparency, it just creates doubt. I think so too. Any speculation on David Yu video next Thursday or something? Not really. It's a State of the Union address, so they're going to talk about busting bots and this and that, of course. You know what I need to do? I need to come up with a bingo sheet that says hashtag soon is like one slot. Another one will say Reese talks about Omi bridging, like bridging Omi from this wallet to that wallet or whatever. Like he actually explains how to do it again. So that's another one. What's another like bingo card thing that I think would be really funny? Comics and showrooms, that could be another thing where they're like still working on it, Vivi's dropping name brand collectibles into our lap. People are panicking. Old money isn't here. I'm buying and stacking Omi. I want to buy Omi, trust me. Right now I just don't have the fiat to do it, to put a bunch of it's kind of worked out in my favor, luckily. Like Omi's down. Honestly, I do think people are just kind of treating Omi as a utility token, or not utility, but as an altcoin until it gets utility. Like right now it just doesn't do anything. From last I heard, like part of the reason why Omi was actually kind of pumping a long time ago is like you could actually use Omi to buy gems, I believe, right? I believe those two were actually like kind of interoperable. I don't know if you could buy gems or buy Omi with gems, but back then I think you could buy gems with Omi, so it had a utility. You could actually do something with it, but as of right now you can't do that. I think that was leading Omi down the path of like a security token and not so much a utility token. And I don't know, like that's, again, I haven't done too much research into Omi and all the reasons why, everything about it. I do want to invest in Omi because the nice thing about Omi is no matter how bad drops get, or no matter how good Vivi or how good or bad Vivi ends up being, Omi's still being burned and it's still going to be rare. And as other platforms and companies use Omi, it's just going to be even better. But they do need each other, Omi and Vivi. There's definitely insider trades going on in Vivi. There are no rules against it, and I'm sure they are taking advantage of it. Otherwise, why wouldn't they disclose that info to us for transparency? Insider trading. Yeah, I mean, like, people just like pump their bags and stuff incessantly on Twitter and other platforms. And, you know, the bot issue, right? Like, there's so many bots on the platform. I don't think they actually want to admit, you know, you kind of think they're like, oh yeah, there's times where we've stopped up to, you know, that you got to concentrate on the wording, the way they phrase things. We stopped up to 30% of bots, or like up to 30% of incoming traffic because of bots. And it's like, cool, but there's still tons of bots that get through. But then again, they're outsourcing the company that's stopping the bots. So it's like, what can they really do about it at the end of the day, right? And that's a whole another issue is with the bots as well. Like, I don't know. Queue system isn't like, in a certain way, I do think botting is more of an issue in the secondary market, but at the same time, like, yeah, them just getting everything on drop is pretty ridiculous. And when you see giant bot walls of stuff undercutting, or just massive bot walls posting stuff, it's pretty ridiculous that how they still haven't like fixed or done anything about it. It's almost like they're just trying to buy time until queue system, in a way. There's like, oh, we're working on it, and it's like, all right, but you guys, it seems like you guys are just saying that until queue system comes out, like, because that's the ultimate fix in their mind. It's just queue system, but maybe it's not a huge priority, or maybe they're still testing it or whatever. I'm not entirely sure. Also, the other thing I want to know too is, like, we say we have 2 million active users. You know, I think they consider anyone that logs in at least once a week an active user. But guess what? We always have 2 or 3 drops a week, so there's always going to be an active user. What I want to know is, and I've asked this before, or said it before, I would love to know if how many active users do we have on non-drop days? So if we have in a month, let's say we have 11 drop days in a month. Remove those days from your active user listing. Now, how many active users do we have? And don't get me wrong, bots are still on the app on off days, right? They still list stuff, they still buy stuff, whatever. But overall, it's like, if we have 2 million active users in a week, but if we remove, you know, in a week, active, whatever. But if we remove those drop days and all we have is like 150,000 active users, if you remove drop days, it's like, wow, how are we having nearly 100 times more people showing up to the app, you know, 10 times more people showing up to the app on drop days? And yeah, there are a lot of people like that just don't log onto the app until there's a drop day. They pay the drop, they don't win, they log off. Like, a lot of people do that. But it is concerning when, like, there's only, you know, 100,000 people actually being active on the market on non-drop days, but during drop days there's 2 million. Like, pretty big discrepancy there. Rich Buddy, dude, thank you so much for the $5, man. I really, really appreciate it. Good God, I'm behind on chat. Actually, not too far behind. These big IPs can just dip whenever they want, make their own platform. Big IPs only mean so much. What happens if Disney and Marvel NFTs can't leave the platform? I think they would be doing a huge disservice if they wouldn't let the Disney and Marvel IP NFTs like leave the platform, right? If anything, I feel like Disney wants their IPs or wants their NFTs to come off the Vivi platform, because if Disney does their own thing, they're probably going to give an incentive to people that own Disney NFTs to like come on their platform. So let's say there's a Disneyverse, whatever, or a Disney platform, Disney NFTs. I feel like they're probably going to give an incentive to people that already own the first Walt, the first Golden Moments, and all this stuff to come over, right? I feel like it just makes sense. It's almost like they're almost like stocking the shelves in Vivi, and then eventually when they come out with their own thing, they don't have to do a lot of the legwork. They could just say, hey, we're starting a, you know, Mickeyverse, whatever the hell you want to call it. And anyone that has their NFTs on Vivi, if you bring it over here, we're going to give you X amount of, you know, in-game currency or not dollar amount, but whatever it is, they're going to give you. They're probably going to give you a pretty juicy incentive to bring your stuff over and like keep it there. I would imagine something like that. And even then, we're still the first ones in the blockchain. We're still the first ones that exist. Even if Disney did an exact carbon copy of Golden Moments with like Walt and all that stuff, we still have the first ones. So let's let NYX just under 12 gems at one time. Don't list them all at once. If you stack one at a time, I agree. That's the way to do it. That's how I do it typically. Question vibes, do you ever expect we could get back to all-time highs we saw in January? The reason I ask is more NFTs are coming out, so it will oversaturate the market. Thoughts? I think we can hit all-time highs, but we're definitely not going to hit at the same rate that we did before. Like, there's just no way in hell. With MTL, people actually treating each gem like it's $1 for a gem or 90 cents on the dollar on the gem technically. I think people were just YOLOing gems because like MTL wasn't even like like people have been talking about MTL, but it was never really a big point of discussion, right? For the most part, during that time. Could we hit all-time highs again? I think so, but it's going to take a while to get there. If not, I don't think we can hit all-time highs again until like Omi to NFT, to be quite honest. Like until we get Omi to NFT, or just find some sort of way for not people have to jump through a bunch of hoops to get their Ethereum or all their other what do you call it? Their cryptocurrency, and just find a way to buy off the Vivi app. And we're probably not going to hit the all-time highs like anytime soon, but like I said, Omi to NFT, if people find ways to basically get crypto, liquidate their crypto in a way that they can easily buy the Vivi NFTs, that's probably when we're going to hit all-time highs again. So it could be a year. Could be a year. Could be not. It might not be till like November, December before we hit all-time highs again. But I think it's more hinged around Omi to NFT rather than like a hard timeline. Sending you a comic for a giveaway. Awesome, dude. Thanks, Em. Let me see. Did I just like overlook it? Hell yeah, dude. So M was nice enough to send us a comic, NYX. $10 comic. Mint number 3520. Dude, you keep always sending over these like ridiculously low mint ones. Like you and a few other people. Like every time I get a donation comic, it's never just some like shitty like 5-digit comic that's like very high end. It's always like a pretty low like 4-digit comic. So that's awesome, man. Am I behind on chat? Yeah, I'm still a little bit behind on chat. And dude, thank you so much, M, again. Wake up and read super chat. Did you get it? With this, dude, I can't see the super chats appearing at the top sometimes. I apologize, dude. Sorry if you had to like send me another like $2, but I'm just really behind on chat because I'm answering a lot of questions. I will double time it through chat. Buy NYNX again now at 10 gems. It wouldn't hurt. Only the correction on Vivi that comes close with this prior to secondary opening off-app transactions were crazy high, and when secondary open, reality set in and crashed. True. That was a different situation since we are all blind trading at that point. Yeah. Disney's going to do the same thing when they did Disney Plus. They're just making money off Vivi until they release their own platform. They can even offer their own utility. I think so too. Sent that. It's decent. Awesome. Seeing whales, do your own research. I think Marvel might will explode when gaming thing is implemented. Yeah. It's all hinged around an announcement, right? So I've been kind of holding off on like any Viviverse, like NFTs that heavily hinge on like Viviverse announcements or like utility. I've been kind of holding off on, you know, vehicles, hoverboards, gamification, Marvel Mighties, all that stuff. Because honestly, I think the first iteration of the Viviverse is going to be like kind of terrible, and it might take them a while to do it, unless they've outsourced it to some company and they've been working on the Viviverse for like 3 years. Other than that, I just don't see it. Even if the market takes a big hit, I think MTL will be the best thing that ever happened to Vivi. I think so too. The art has gotten cool on the rare and ultra rare comics. I agree. MTL isn't going to save us, unfortunately, because the fees are too high compared to selling off app. People rather get 60% of what their NFTs are worth now rather than having to KYC and deal with the tax. Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's an extra 20% roughly, right? Maybe even more than that, like 25%, because it's 90% and then fees. I mean, capital gains as well. So that's probably roughly an extra like 10% as well. So, I mean, that could be a thing. We'll just see. Makes sense. No super chats for you, dude. I apologize. Like, I don't know why, but I don't know if it's because I'm using, I think it's because I'm using Google Chrome, and I'm also using like an extension thing that allows me to actually pull up chat like this. So sometimes when people give me a donation or a super chat or whatever, it doesn't appear at the top, because usually it shows at the top of chat and it says a thing, but I kind of wish there was more of like a notification that let me know. But Telegram looks like whales are entering. It seems like it, right? Yo, fella, see above? Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I'm just behind on chat. Dino's good escrow. Can you refer an escrow? Say Dino. Yeah. Everyone talks about commotion, how many companies put out weekly updates, etc. Really, does Ford, Apple, Microsoft provide weekly updates? Do they owe this? Do they owe this to us at this rate? It's a bit different. I mean, comparing, like, they don't need updates, right? I mean, what is it? Ford comes out with a new vehicle like every year, right? I don't know if they need to make too many updates. Which has been more profitable for you, stacking or buying a couple of big collectibles and then flipping them? So dependent on the market, to be quite honest. I will say stacking has kept me more occupied, and it's nice to see those little wins. I think that's more of like a morale boost rather than buying a big collectible, then it shoots down really quick and you're just like, ugh. Walt predictions, 1,000,000 gems. I don't know. Depending on the timeline, all I can say is eventually Walt will flip Secret Rare Spider-Man, in my opinion. But other than that, it's hard to give you like more formal like pricing. Out of all the Vivi tubers, you seem to be one of the only ones that keeps an open mind, and you can accept that there are problems. I respect that you think for yourself. Kind of rare these days. Yeah, I do think like some people kind of don't like some of the original content creators. I'll be honest, I was one of those people too. I'm like, dude, how the hell, like, who the hell are these original content creators? The OGs, you know, the OGs, the season 1 adopters, people that got into Vivi super early. Like, they were dealing with their own issues. But at the same time, these are the same people that are buying stuff for box price. And like a lot of their NFTs have literally hit 50 to 100x. Like, you're buying Todd for 80, it's up to 8K. Like, you know, that's 100x improvement. You know, some people that are buying Marvel Comics for 4 gems and it went up to 400 gems. You know, it's 100x. Like, you know, it's almost like they're speaking from a position of privilege where it's like, it's you know, it's hard to take them seriously. I was that person, like, and I that is still correct to a certain extent, but at the same time, like, they've gone through more shit than we have too, right? The early days of Vivi was more about like, will the app even like survive? Like, there was hardly any information. I do think that's why it seems like a lot of the OG content creators just kind of stick together, just because it's a very tight-knit community. I feel like very rarely you actually see some of the, I call them like golden age content creators, like me, My Collectibles, Vivian3, Old Rhubarb, Dino, like all those people that kind of became content creators around Golden Moments time are like Silver Age content creators, like the people that came in during that wave. During like Golden Moments, I would say up to this point is probably like Silver Age, whatever. I'm just making up random shit. You don't see them interacting with us too much. You know, and they're in a different position of, you know, that's why I kind of made this channel, because like those people don't have to dig through the mud of the market like we do to help kind of make gains. You know, a lot of the times they say like, well, just buy this off the secondary market. It's like, yeah, you and your stack of 15 Todds and all these other comics and all these other collectibles that you're literally at 50x on, like, but you know, they had their own issues, right? They were kind of more guided along the lines of like rarity over popularity, right? People were trading 2 Todds for a Nightwing and stuff back in the day. So they were already making bad moves historically, right? Like, it was kind of the wild west. And same thing with like market was just closed for like an entire month. Like, a lot of people could have just flooded out like, what the hell is this? Market's closed. I don't want to risk my collectibles by selling off app. I knew this was a rug pull, buy, see you later. Like, there's probably a lot of people that thought like that. Every generation of Vivi users are going to have issues. I bet you early days of Vivi, they probably didn't have to worry about bots as much as we do now. Now it's all about bots and all about, you know, market crashing and all that stuff. And then the next generation of users are going to complain about something else. Like, every generation of users has some sort of issue they're dealing with, right? So, I mean, luckily we're still, you know, early, but at what point does it stop being early, right? What up, Vibes? What's the good word? Markets, there's some good deals in the market. It's a buyer's market right now. But Drew, I really appreciate that. And I know that might not give me the most subs, that might not give me the most likes or anything like that. When I actually put out content, and I've actually noticed, I caught myself like some of my content recently has been kind of quote unquote negative. Before I go on a tangent, I do want to do this giveaway, because I know M gave me this comic a little while ago. We'll go ahead, we'll do some more like Vivi trivia, because I'm actually kind of catching up with chat, surprisingly. We'll do a Vivi trivia thing. If you guys don't know, typically I ask a question, just something about the app, like how many edition numbers does this have, or how how many of this? Like, you guys will understand the question. I'll even give you guys a little bit of hint too beforehand, so if you guys can actually like open up the app and go to the right category or the right thing, it makes it a bit easier. You guys will see what I mean. Let's see. See if I can find a... Sometimes I used to do one called floor price, where I would just say like, hey, what's the floor price of this NFT right now? And people just list it on there. So this is for the NYX comic. Just give me a sec here. Guess I can kind of read off chat a little bit in the meantime. They do not owe us all this info. Most do yearly updates in the business world. True. I don't know. I don't know if that's a bit different for new startups or people that are like trying to create like a community that's surrounded by like collecting and all that stuff. And, you know, it's a bit different than comparing it to like companies that have been around for 50, 60 or 100 plus years. They're already like pretty well established. I don't know. And even then, like even just the NFT / crypto community in general is already pretty tight knit. Let's see here. Interesting. Think I got something. All right, so this tip. All right, so here's a hint. It's in decon. It's under the decon section of your phone. So you guys probably want to open that up. It's your category. I'll give you guys a few seconds. So the tip is. So there's these eyes, or I guess they kind of look like glasses, but the eyes of a certain character that Mr. Cartoon made is based on what vehicle? If you look in the description of it, it'll tell you. So the weird looking eyes of this character, if you guys don't get it in a sec, I'll show you guys. Actually, I'll give you guys until the loading screen works. So whoever can come up with the vehicle name and all that stuff, it's this character. It's Cat Bronson, but there's his eyes are designed after a certain vehicle. So I need the year and the make of the vehicle in order to get the comic. Cat Bronson. Cat Bronson, he actually said that I designed his eyes to make it look like this vehicle. In the meantime, I'm going to read chat until you guys start guessing. Couldn't agree more. I think we just got spoiled and feel entitled like they give us information. I don't think we realize how business works. Yeah, potentially. It just, you know, I think it's more that like we were promised a lot of different things in certain timelines and like none of it's been fulfilled up to this point. Drew got it. 1959 Chevy Impala, 59 Impala, 1969 Chevy Impala. You wish it was 1969, giggity. But Drew got it first, right? Let me double check. Is it 59? Yeah, it is 59, not 69. El Camino, 1977. Yeah, it's right here in the description. If you just open it, it's kind of hard to see, but it just says the very last line. His eyes are designed to match Mr. Cartoon's favorite car, the 1959 Chevy Impala. Kind of a tricky question. I usually don't do one that's like that. Yeah, sometimes I do ask questions that is just in the all you have to do is just pull up the NFT and look in the description, and that's it. But I do want to do at some point like more of a actual giveaway. But Drew, hell yeah, dude, hit me up on Discord, or not Discord, but on Twitter. This is, hold on, give me a second. Come on, work with me. And I will be getting off here somewhat soonish, guys. So this is my name on Twitter. It's just Vivi_vibes on Twitter. Just add me on there or follow me or send me a DM and then I'll shoot you over the comics. So hell yeah, congrats, dude. Kind of like doing those like little trivia things, but at some point I will do more of just like a randomly generated thing so you don't have to do any work. Because I do know some people are on their phones and it's hard to switch between Vivi and like their phone or like chat and stuff. So I totally feel it. I will do something more randomly generated, but for right now, I haven't done it yet. So it is what it is. Let's see. Established 100-year-old company to basically a startup. I think so too. That's kind of what I said. I remember buying Bitcoin around $7 and Bitcoin blackout came out of a shot from 50 cents to $10 in a week, then disappeared. Know your investment. Vivi and Omi are solid. I agree. I do want to invest a lot. And I think the long-term goal, like there has been a few times where I thought in my head, am I just better off just selling all of my NFTs and just investing it all into Omi? Because I feel like Omi is like, if you know how it's set up and if we do get enough utility and we have enough other platforms and games and programs like adopting Omi as a token to be used that they actually use, it's almost like no way like Omi can actually fail in a way. If they give us information, they're going to give that info to their competitors at the same time. That is true. Those companies already have their foundation in place and Vivi does not. Yeah, and I think a lot of things that people are asking of Vivi, like other platforms are already done, right? Like interoperability, certain levels of utility. We're talking MTL, like a lot of other like NFT platforms that are like have already done this, and Vivi just seems to be lagging behind. I will be honest, like Vivi's also trying to do 25 different things at once, but there's that. Look at Tesla when it first started. You didn't see Elon giving weekly or monthly announcements on what's to come. They barely give any info. Companies that move in silence tend to do well. True. Not everyone on be on the market during a normal day trade hours. People treat the market as if it's on a Wall Street time and say GM and GN at the end of the day because somewhere across the globe. Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I think so too. That's actually why, like, when there's an announcement that the market dumps, like the FEFA tag thing, like the first couple hours, like the market dumped, but it wasn't finished dumping because there's a lot of people on the other side of the world, like, still waiting, still haven't even heard of the announcement. But yeah. Did we get an ad? Congrats. Just followed. Your DMs aren't open. That's strange. All right. I got you, though. Let me send you a message. Help me out here. All right, we got that figured out. That's good. I'm sending it. I'll send it over to you once you shoot me over your QR. Holy shit, I'm actually caught up with chat. Sent you an uncommon season 2 Murmur Corner for giveaway or whatever. Yeah, I will give them away next time. Honestly, I'm kind of like getting kind of tired and running out of fumes here, but I don't own a Murmur Corner, so when I see it next time I stream, I will like look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is for a giveaway. I probably will make a note, and I think in some ways it's part of me is almost kind of easier for me to like. Okay, cool. We got this going. Let me send this over first. Kind of make sure to send the low mint one too. I'm not trying to skewer you out of a low mint, because this mint number, dude, the 4,000 whatever, dude, that's like a 9.2 rating, right? That's like a it's like a 9.2. I'm not trying to send, you know, 1.5 or yeah. Like if you look at this list here that I have, like these are all high mints, like 15,000, 16,000, 14,000, 13,000. There's a 335 right there. So I'm gonna send you this one. I'm just gonna cover up the screen so when I send it, because I gotta give me a sec here while I transfer this over. But no, I'm definitely not drinking the Kool-Aid of Vivi, and I'm just not like blindly following. I'm definitely bullish on it very long term, but I would like to get more answers, right? We got this. We got this. Let's go. I sent it. You got it, dude. Hell yeah. Congrats. And thanks for also sending the Cerulean. This is one of my favorite ones. I actually do like this one a lot. Cerulean. Like the see-through and all that stuff. That is really, really cool. And that was sent over by Logie007. Is that how you pronounce it? Logie? Thanks, Logan. I appreciate it. I'll remember next time for sure, but I do want to get off here in like less than 5 minutes, and I'm trying to wrap up the stream. Well, here's the deal. Sell your own me, I'll buy. Yeah, exactly. Logan! Vibes, I really enjoy that you keep it real and don't drink. It's kind of funny. I brought up the Kool-Aid, and I swear to God, I didn't read ahead. Drink all the Vivi Kool-Aid. Criticism is good, otherwise they will improve. Thank you for the giveaway. Comment if you have other giveaways. Or no, sorry, Jesus. I do have some more. And I do think someone actually sent me a comic last time. I think I probably, like, before next stream, I do need to, like, set aside some, what do you call? NFTs, just like make a note just so I know which ones I'm going to give away. Because I do think there was another comic someone sent me last time that I was going to do. I think the market took a hit when the market page changed, made it hard for people to see new listings. What made them do that? I don't think that's the case. The market was already taking a huge hit beforehand. Like, market was already dipping and retracing late January. It has nothing to do with market. Now, I will say people are way less inclined, I would say way less inclined, but people are, like, even when I was around during golden moments, like, people were getting extremely good deals through auctions. Because back then, the only way you could find auctions is like the current way you find auctions in comics, right? You have to actually go to the comic. You have to actually, like, go to the comics page, find the comic, open the comic rarity, and then go to auctions. Like, there was like 5 or 6 steps you had to do before you could even, like, find the auction of a certain collectible. But now that we have, now auctions are literally this easy. You just go down here to auctions, you scroll over, and now you can just find any auction that's going to end within minutes, hours, whatever. Like, it's super easy. Like, now pretty much like most auctions go for pretty much floor price or very close to it. But before, like, people were actually, like, able to buy auctions for like 50% floor and stuff like that. I mean, this was back in the day, but that's because it was, like, really hard to actually find some of these. That's because back then, well, it's 2 reasons. One, you actually had to, like, manually actually find the NFT and, like, go to the auction tab. Like, there was nothing like this that just told you, like, hey, this auction's ending in 2 minutes, you want to buy it? On top of that, there was no notifications. Like, up here, like, there was, back in the day, there was 0 notifications that if you got outbid, or if you did bid on, because sometimes I would bid on NFT and I would get outbid and I would have, like, no notification. Or because also the auctions were 3 days long, I would just straight up forget, like, I was even in a bid. I'm like, I forgot I was even in an auction. So back then, some people were like straight up, like, getting incredibly good deals on NFTs back in the day. So another small advantage for basically the platform not being super optimized. So people are also taking advantage of that as well. Got the comic. Thanks so much. Hell yeah, Drew. And dude, and no, thank some of the other people. Thank M, thank Logan. I'll be giving that away next drop or like next stream. For newbies complaining, Vivi walked into a holy shit moment. They didn't see the potential, and now they're playing catch up. There was their app was just meant for crypto cash out. They didn't see millions coming. Yeah, I mean, I will say this. I do feel bad. I do feel really bad for anyone that got into Vivi late January or early February, or just any time in February, because they're basically buying NFTs like on the pump. Probably went up, you know, by the time they bought it, it probably only went up 20, 30, 40%, maybe 50%, which is still a shit ton. Like, don't get me wrong. But then it started immediately going down. And yeah, so I feel bad, really bad for anyone that kind of bought. That's a really bad time to get in. And there's probably a good portion of people that joined during that time, and that those are probably part of the people that have been complaining. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know, like, even now, like, if this next State of the Union address thing or whatever that's happening on Wednesday, another thing that I think, if they don't talk about Q system, which I couldn't care less if they come out with Q system earlier or later. I do think the earlier the better, but, you know, it is what it is. But if, like, they don't plan on coming out with Q system for another like 4 or 5 months, 6 months, they really need to fix the rebound system. rebound system is honestly dog shit. I'm so like, I know I'm like 9 months late to this, and the Q and like the rebound system's been the way it is. It's so strange. Like, why don't they just, when the drop goes to 0, 3, 2, 1, 0, you go for the drop, you don't win it, right? Why is there not another number that just appears that counts down from 4, right? It's so weird that like some people just like, I've never gotten a rebound except for today, and that's probably because there was literally thousands of people just rejecting drops, right? Also, the bots just straight up ignore this drop too. So it's so weird that some people lose their buy button. If you lose your buy button, you're just fucked. Like, you're just not getting a rebound. So it just seems like some phones are literally just not even designed, but like you just never get a rebound. So some phones inherently just don't get rebounds. There are some people that get 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 rebounds in a single drop, and that's not including just Electra. Like, some people just get tons of rebounds. Like, there are some people that get more rebounds on one drop than I have gotten in the last 4.5 months, and I have watched dozens of videos. I've watched all Vivi Vault's videos about like time gate, align, like, you know, timing gate, align gate, metronome gate, time.io gate, press and hold technique. I've tried like literally 17 different techniques for rebounds, and I've never gotten a rebound. I think it's literally just because my Wi-Fi, where I live, the internet, you know, the phone design. Maybe it's an Android, maybe it's a specific kind of Android phone, but every time I click the buy button, my buy button is just gone. But there's some people that are like, yeah, I got 3 rebounds. I'm like, how? They're like, oh, my buy button just stays up. And I'm like, and I just spam it, and I'm just like, how's that fair? Like, it makes 0 sense. You know, and on top of that, like, some people, like I said, the phone design is just not set up that way. I'm like, it still blows my mind. Like, the Q system is based on like an arbitrary thing. You have to like go to, okay, you're on your phone, you have to go to time.io, and you have to like back out of the page, or you keep clicking the button. It just seems like so strange that like the rebound system is just so fucking janky. And it's just like there's like no indication on the app at all whatsoever that rebounds even exist. You have to either be in the community or be in Discord or basically talk to people like this in the community to even know what the hell a rebound is. Like, like, there's nothing that tells you about rebounds in this thing. And that's another issue I have is, look here. Let's see. So if I refresh this, actually, let me reopen the app so we can see, because maybe it literally just updated. There's another small concern I had, not even concern, but another kind of small gripe I had. So I'm opening the app. Isn't that Spider-Woman drop? Not Spider-Woman, but the Spider-Girl drop? Isn't that happening in like 10 hours? And it's still not on the app? Like, isn't it happening in like, what is it? Yeah, 10 hours from now. And it's still not on the app. Like, is that right? Let me check it. Or is that later? When the hell is that drop? It's tomorrow, right? Where is Vivi? There it is. No, it's tomorrow. So we have a drop tomorrow for Spider-Girl, and it's not even showing on the app. So literally, unless your eyes and ears are glued to Discord and or Twitter, you have no idea that there's a drop happening tomorrow morning. There's a lot of people asleep right now, or about to go to sleep soon, like myself. And yeah, and they have like no idea there's even a drop tomorrow. Like, I do not know why Vivi literally waits till like less than 10 hours before the drop to actually put it on the app. Like, it's so strange that they wait so long to put it. And it's honestly only gotten worse. Like, I feel like the last few were like 12 hours. Now it's like the drop is happening in 10 hours and it's not even on the app yet, which is just crazy to think about. Getting into Vivi in February is like buying Doge at 60 cents, LMO, pretty much. Facts. So yeah, obviously I'm not the only one that thinks this. It's like, if, like I said, if Q system's coming out in 2 months, whatever, deal with the rebounds. I don't give a shit. Like, if they get, I don't want them to put resources into something that's just going to become obsolete in 2 months, like whatever. But if it's going to be like 6, 7, 8 months until Q system comes out, like, they should put some time and effort into like rebounds, because there's nothing that prompts you about rebounds. there are some people that just it's legitimately impossible for them to get rebounds because their buy button gets used up, or maybe it's the make and model of their phone or whatever it is, and it's just impossible and you just can't get it back, right? So I know you said you were off, you were to get off soon, so this will be my last question. What do you personally think about Lightning McQueen? Personally, I really like it for under 100. I think so too, but again, I'm just waiting. Just wait. I think you can maybe get Lightning McQueen for 75 gems. Or 60, you know, maybe not 60 gems, but like you can get it down for 75 gems. Just wait long enough. All we need is basically 2 more relatively big, hard-hitting IPs, like maybe another Disney or a DC. I mean, we haven't had a DC drop in a minute, but that's all it takes, and it gets gem squeezed more and more and more. So until we get MTL or some other like bullish catalyst, I just don't see it moving much. But I know the whole rant thing, but I was gonna plan on making a video, and I do want to make bullet points talking about, like, that's one of my criticisms, like, how, like, I know I'm like 9 months late to like the whole rebound thing, but I'm like, dude, rebounds are just like, it makes no fucking sense. Like, it just, there's nothing that tells you were too late or too early or internet or nothing like that. I mean, the current system doesn't do that either with the drop system, but it's just like so many things are just arbitrary. And it's like, I've given up on rebounds after I haven't gotten a rebound the last like 140 drops. You know, it's like I've just given up. Maybe not 140 drops, but that's including a rebound at 4-8, right? So I guess 140 attempts. Like, I've just given up. Like, it's just a waste of time. I'd rather go eat or take a shit than look at my app and my phone and time.io. Like, it's just silly. But anyway, yeah, I'm clearly getting tired, but I really appreciate M, and everyone else that's still here, and all the donations, as well as the giveaway stuff for next time. I will remember to give away Cerulean next time, so I really appreciate it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Please double and triple check all of your guys' listings so you don't screw yourself over, and please take care.